Live from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, indoor football on a wintry day in the Detroit area, the New Orleans Saints and the Detroit Lions. Well, the Saints find themselves in the middle of a big pack in that wild card scramble. A team that was 10-6 a year ago now hoping to make it somehow into the playoffs, winning their final 4 games and getting some help. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan here at the Silverdome, and there's no other way to say it except it's been a disappointing season for the New Orleans Saints. 10-6 a year ago. They could get to that mark again if they win their final 4 games and then hope some good things happen for them to get them into the playoffs. With me, my broadcast partner, Randy Cross. And Randy, these Saints coming off a really difficult defeat at the hands of the Rams last week. It's do or die for them.
That's right. They can't have a down week, though, Tim. They've got the toughest part of their schedule coming up after Detroit. They've got Indianapolis, they've got Philadelphia, they've got Buffalo, and the key to them winning those 4 games is going to be Bobby Hebert. He started out the season very, very well, but the last 3 or 4 weeks he slumped badly, thrown interceptions, made bad decisions. Bobby Hebert has to play as good as Jim Mora, the head coach, thinks he can.
Well, for the Detroit Lions, no playoff hopes at all. They're 3-9, but what an exciting season they've had from young Barry Sanders.
That's right. Beginning of the year, people said this is going to be a passing offense, this silver stretch, which was the run and shoot. Right now, this is Barry Sanders' offense. He can run right. He can run left. He runs forwards. He goes up in the air to get to go forward. He is a heck of a running back, and if you haven't seen him, you're going to enjoy him. And he and the offensive line for Detroit has got a great challenge today. They're facing the #1 rushing defense in the NFL in the New Orleans Saints.
Well, you can see ideal conditions indoors today, Randy. 68 degrees inside the Silverdome, but it is a 3-degree above zero wind chill outside here. A very blustery day in Detroit. Snow squalls last night and some again overnight. Not pleasant at all. So the fans in here, and so far, not too many of them, at least will be comfortable watching their Lions against the New Orleans Saints. Saints will receive. They have Lonzell Hill back deep in the middle. Number 87, Paul Frazier, and Gene Atkins. From the goal line, it's Rod Harris, number 86, bringing it up to about the 19. Bobby Hebert brings out the Saints, getting his final word from the sideline offensive crew, leading the Saints onto the field. The 63% passer who has had his problems in recent weeks. Offensively, the rookie Kevin Hebert continues at left tackle because of the injury to guard Brad Edelman. In the backfield, Dalton Hilliard, 992 yards rushing. He's having a fine season. Perriman and Hayward will come in on the passing downs. An immediate shift here to make the strong side right. Kobe Brenner and John Tice, a pair of tight ends. Interception or not? A miscue on the opening play. Brown had a shot at that pass. No Saint did, and Bobby Hebert off to a shaky start, or at least his receiver was, Randy. Let's take a look at the Lions defensively. Williams, Ball, and Brooks. Toby Caston will come in as a pass rusher. Williams, Spielman, Dennis Gibson has returned from injured reserve. Mark Brown starting on the right side. Kofor will play. The secondary has Ray Crockett and James Griffin in on the passing downs. 2nd and 10, New Orleans. Long count by Hebert may have changed it up. Takes it out of bounds. A gain of about 7. Eric Williams got a hand on him at the sideline.
You know, Tim, we saw that. Everybody would think that was a bad decision on Bobby Hebert's part, that first down play where he had the miscommunication. But Jim Mora and Bobby Hebert, you see Mora there, told us yesterday that it isn't all Bobby's fault. He's having a problem with his receivers and the communication and timing.
That appeared to be the case there because he definitely threw it in a direction to which the receiver was not running. So a miscommunication that nearly cost them an interception on the first play of the game. 4 wide receivers in now. Turner and Perriman joining Martin and Hill. 3rd down and 4. Deep sideline. Incomplete. Good coverage by Terry Taylor. the intended receiver, the rookie Floyd Turner, number 88, who is slow to get up.
Now Terry Taylor does exactly what he has to. He turns back to the ball and times the leap with the receiver perfectly at the same time and never gives Turner a chance to catch the ball. And you see the way Turner landed right there on his shoulder and his arm. It looks like he might have jammed something up.
And he's being helped off the field as the punter comes on, Tommy Barnhart. Barnhart, 36.4 average, not great punting here in the NFL. As you can see, he's in the bottom of the pack in that respect. And there's Turner, the rookie from Northwest Louisiana, being assisted to the sideline after that fall from great height, leaping for the ball. So, Walter Stanley, the former Green Bay Packer, back there to receive, standing at the 30-yard line, leads the league in punt returns. Barnhart at his 10. Good kick. Stanley from the 25. Nailed at the 32-yard line by Buford Jordan. So the Lions have their first offensive possession, and Rodney Peete, who wasn't a sure starter until just yesterday. Friday afternoon, Coach Wayne Fonts said that it looked like he was ready to go, and as the knee felt fine, he's scheduled as a starter. Brown, Andelsick, Glover, Dallafour, and Eric Sanders continuing at right tackle for the injured Harvey Salem. Sanders, the lone running back. Those are the four starting wideouts. And you may see the rookie John Ford in action today as well. Short drop for Peete, and Peete seemed to lose control of the ball there. It'll be an incomplete pass because his arm went forward. So we've had two shaky starts by the two quarterbacks today. Defensively, the New Orleans Saints have Warren, Wilkes, and Geathers in their basic 3-4. Expect them to change up the linebacking core quite a bit against the Silver Stretch. Jackson and Swilling expected to be on the field for every down. The rookie Robert Massey and Toy Cook on the corners. Waymer and Atkins the safeties. Maxey and Milton Mack. Again, we'll see a lot of action because of the four wide receivers today for Detroit. And Maxey is in the ball game now, number 39. 2nd and 10 Lions. Sanders. Good pursuit by the Saints, stretching it out to the sideline, and Gene Atkins making the ankle grab. Maybe a gain of 2.
We talk a lot about Barry Sanders and his talent, but watch the lateral pursuit here of the New Orleans Saints. This is one of their strengths. You don't want to go sideline to sideline against New Orleans because Atkins and company will completely cut you off. You've got to hit them quick. You've got to run these inside traps, inside quick hitting plays that Barry Sanders and this offensive line for Detroit is capable of. Otherwise, New Orleans will shut you down if they stretch you out.
3rd down and 7. They call it a 3-yard gain. Rodney Peete to the sideline and overthrows Robert Clark. Milton Mack had the coverage, and it looked like a miscue in communication there between Peete and his receiver. So both quarterbacks not at their sharpest in the early going.
Well, Rodney told us Friday that he was feeling a little bit rusty, and Wayne Fonts also told us Friday that if Rodney does not get off to a good start and seems to be struggling, he won't hesitate to put Bob Galliano in. He doesn't want to risk Rodney getting hurt or having a terrible day.
Galliano was the quarterback against Cleveland in the victory on Thanksgiving Day. Arnold at his 20 will punt to Rod Harris, number 86. Short punt. Bobbled by Harris. And New Orleans has maintained possession. Close call for the Saints.
Well, Rod Harris owns whoever came up with that ball. He owes them a dinner tonight when they get back to New Orleans.
At least.
That saved them.
13-10 remaining first quarter, no score.
Well, one thing a punt returner is taught early, keep your eye on the ball at all times. Don't look at the group coming at you. Now look at this. He's got his head up, Harris looking at the guys rushing at him, trying to make the tackle, doesn't watch the ball all the way in. And now it's up to his teammates to get after that ball, because right now, Harris is a spectator. He falls down and decides, uh-oh.
Fortunately for him, Bobby Morse just re-signed for the second time this year. Came up with the fumble recovery for New Orleans, so Harris off the hook. First down, Saints from their own 38-yard line. Nervous beginning for both teams. Buford Jordan on first down. Got a couple. It'll turn into about a 3-yard gain for Buford Jordan, the 4-year man from McNeese State. Bobby Hebert, 12 of 26 passing against the Rams in the losing effort. The last 3 weeks has had only 2 touchdown passes, but 6 interceptions, 4 of them against Atlanta. Cofer has come in defensively, along with Griffin, for Detroit on 2nd and long. Saints are aware of Cofer's pass rushing ability. Hebert off quickly to Hilliard, and he's hit immediately. Got a yard at most. Griffin tracking him, number 34, put the hit on him as the ball arrived. Eagles have jumped into the early lead over the Giants at the Meadowlands. We'll be keeping an eye on that one for you. Bill Parcells, the Giants coach, says this is a division championship game today in the NFC East. Third down and 6.
And here Bobby Hebert is looking at 3rd and 6. Jim Mora told us, hey, we've got to get 3rd and 2nd, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. That's a situation Bobby Hebert excels at. Long yardage puts a lot more pressure on the quarterback.
So a 3rd and 6 here. Caston has come in now as a pass rusher for the Lions. Hebert to Hilliard. Gets a good block. Flag down. He has the first down yardage into Lions territory. But there could be a clip on the play. Crockett made the tackle for Detroit.
Well, number 65 guard Steve Trapillo was out in front of Hilliard on that screen there and seemed to get down low. I don't know if he clipped, but they might call an illegal use of hands.
Howard Rowe giving that signal now, the referee today.
Illegal block in the back. Number 65 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And it's one of the rough things as an offensive lineman. You want to shuck the guy, you want to run out and see Trapillo right there. He gets his hand on Jimmy Williams' back, and then he hits him again in the back. So it was kind of a double penalty.
Now brings up 3rd and very long. If they don't like the 3rd and 6s and 3rd and 8s, they don't like this one at all. It'll be 3rd and 16. 4 wide receivers in for New Orleans. Turner and Perriman joining Martin and Hill. To the short man, Martin hit immediately. Got only about 7 yards to the 40-yard line. And this tough Lions defense, which did such a fine job against Cleveland, has stopped New Orleans again.
We mentioned about Bobby Hebert that he had mentioned that his timing and the sharpness between he and his receivers was a little bit off. Never is that at more of a premium than in 3rd and long. The receivers and the quarterbacks have to have one mind.
So Walter Stanley awaiting Barnhart's punt again. Stanley at the Lions 15. Another good kick from Barnhart. Back Stanley to the 10. Good return for Walter Stanley out to the 22-yard line, where Brett Maxey made the tackle. A 50-yard punt from Barnhart. And we'll return to the Silverdome. 10:20 to go. First quarter, no score. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. There's Bobby Hebert off to a shaky start for the Saints. Rodney Peete had his problems on the first series. And the Lions have the ball for the second time, starting at their own 22-yard line. A scoreless football game.
I think Rodney Peete's just a little bit rusty. In the case of Bobby Hebert maybe is feeling a little bit of this pressure that's being heaped on him coming in this last month of the season.
picks up about 7. For an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Well, Tim, the most important part of the Giant Eagle game was the coin flip. Eagles won, and Buddy Ryan decided to take the win and kick off. Defense forced an immediate turnover. Frizzell lateraling to Waters, and this is the Eagles' touchdown, so it's 7-0.
Well, Buddy Ryan loves defense, and it paid off, at least in the opening of that game, at the Meadowlands. Second down here at the Silverdome, 2nd and 4. Make it 3, 2nd and 3, a long 3 for the Lions. In the silver stretch. Sanders. Again, good pursuit by the Saints. Milton Mack steered him out of bounds, but Sanders picked up the first down yardage.
You rarely see Barry Sanders being tackled by the first person that gets a shot on him. Though he is heading for the sideline here, Pat Swirling hits an all-pro that just missed that tackle. And Milton Mack drives him out of bounds, but not before he does get that first down. Barry's got the leg strength. I think that's what really sets him apart. You look at he and Dalton Hilliard, but more so he. They've got thighs that probably belong on 250-pound men. But Barry's only a 200-pound guy. And a lot of that speed, agility, and power come right out of those legs.
It's fun to hear his teammates and his opponents talk in superlatives about Barry Sanders. On first down, Peete gets good protection, and he has Johnson. First down, Lions to the New Orleans 40-yard line. 26-yard pickup.
One of the things that was funny was talking to these two teams. New Orleans was a team worried about the pass rush. Bobby Hebert says, I don't know if I can stand back there that long. These guys come after me. Now here's a team that hasn't been known for giving good pass protection. Give Peete all the time he needs. And Richard Johnson, a guy who's looking for a big game. I mean, he came into the season looking for 100 catches in this season. This is a guy not short on confidence.
Johnson, 47 catches coming into the game, leading the Lions in that department, and an unlikely leading pass receiver on any team in the NFL. First down. Pressure on Peete. The screen to Sanders, incomplete. Frank Warren came blowing in and just did not give the Lions a chance to set up the screen at all.
The key thing on a screen that offensive coaches pound into linemen and running backs' heads on a screen is it is not just a free play for you to run downfield. You've got to take the steam off those guys. Don't give them a free running start at the quarterback, because no quarterback can make a decent pass that way, and no one ever slowed Warren down.
Peete 2 of 5 has the Lions 2nd and 10 at the 40-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. 9:14 to go in the first quarter. Mason Phillips and Richard Johnson, the inside wide receivers out of the slots. Peete for Johnson, incomplete. Johnson turned in. Peete threw a little wide outside of him, but he was open.
Well, that's the job of those slot wide receivers. They're supposed to get inside the little holes in these zones, and that's where Pete's going to hit Johnson and Phillips. In fact, Johnson told us, he said, hey, all we are the guys inside. We're just running backs who get to play wide receiver. I mean, Johnson gets to wear an 80s number. Phillips has a more realistic number. He wears a 24. Because all they basically are is little running backs.
Well, Johnson makes that point, I think, because he's 5'6" and 185 pounds.
He's just trying to fit in.
First-year man out of Colorado, led the USFL in pass receiving. Free agent into the NFL. Flags everywhere on the snap on third down. Illegal procedure, the sign against the Lions on that play.
False start, offense, number 75, third down.
That's Lomas Brown.
Lomas Brown probably trying to get a little bit of a quicker start out against Pat Swirling, number 56. You know, this is a guy Wayne Fonts has said has had the best season of any offensive lineman and deserves Pro Bowl type recognition. He says he goes against the great guys in the league, the Dolmans, the Swirlings, and so far this season he shut them down.
Third down and 15 Lions. Jason Phillips, the motion man. Peete has a man open. Stanley. To the 8-yard line over rookie Robert Massey, who's still having nightmares from the game against the Rams.
Coming out of college, Peete was allegedly did not have a very strong arm. Look at this. He doesn't even wind up. He just sort of flips this out. Stanley cleanly beats Massey, and Massey barely is able to drag him down and prevent a touchdown, and another big play.
Walter Stanley, the former Packer, into the game with 19 catches, makes a big one here. First and goal, Detroit. Sanders. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Frank Warren. Jim Wilkes got a hand on him, but as you pointed out, Randy, he usually beats that first guy. But Warren was there to clean up.
You know, with all the high-tech advantages of the run and shoot, this is the part of the field the Lions need to fine-tune their offense, because they are the worst team in the NFL in the amount of touchdowns, much less the amount they score once they get inside the 20. They've got to find a way to maybe get a running back in front of Sanders, give him a little lead block or change things up, because the field's too short. This run and shoot is not as effective in this little ground.
Mack and Maxey into the secondary on second down for the Saints. Sanders tries it again, buried again, got maybe a yard, close to the 5-yard line. Swilling and Gethers with Toy Cook all in on the hit. They're a gang tackling defense, and they're trying to get all around Barry Sanders.
Well, there you have it right there, 67.7%. Now, that's just scoring. That's including field goals. Field goals are the last thing you want when you get inside the 20, but right now they're settling just to get any points. The biggest mistake there is the fact that they've had mental mistakes, they've had fumbles, and they've had penalties take them out of field goal range.
Third and goal from the 6. Peete will run it. Touchdown. Good reaction there, Randy. He had good protection in the pocket, stepped up and saw, hey, end zone in front of me.
I tell you, you know what happened there? Watch his feet. Rodney's feet are never going to stop moving. He's got happy feet. He knows people coming after him. All of a sudden, he looks in front of him. There's nobody there. The closest person to him has got a striped shirt on.
So Rodney Peete walks it in for the Lions score. Eddie Murray will try for the point after. Good. So the Detroit Lions, upsetters of the Cleveland Browns last Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, have taken the early lead on the Saints. Lions owner William Clay Ford enjoying this good start by the Lions, a 7-0 lead over New Orleans. This week, a lot of speculation about who the next general manager will be to succeed Russ Thomas, and in addition to Jerry Venesi and Chuck Schmidt, rumors include Bobby Beathard and Dick Steinberg from the Patriots. On the kickoff, Bobby Morse returning it to the 25-yard line. Bobby Hebert and company will bring it on. Kobe Caston made the tackle. So Hebert 2 of 4 for just 9 yards so far, as the Lions have stymied New Orleans on 2 successive offensive possessions. Jim Mora, concerned about his team rebounding from the devastating loss in overtime to the Rams, said he didn't even mention the playoffs to them this week. They talked only about the Detroit Lions. Of course, the media, the fans, brought it up, and the players have to be conscious of their dim chances. On first down, Brenner dropped the ball. Recovered by the Lions. Dennis Gibson.
Gibson stood there when he had the ball in his hands like, what is this thing? But it's a very well-conceived play. Hebert gets good protection, drops back, and hits Brenner, but Brenner never gets a chance to fully turn around before William White gets that helmet right on the ball. Now here's Gibson. Am I supposed to run with this thing? Do I fair catch? Do I just put a knee down? What do I do with it?
Dennis Gibson just back last week after missing the first part of the season on injured reserve, so he's a little rusty at running the ball back.
And They're looking to a guy like Dennis Gibson. They've made the comment that he's around the ball. He's there when the big plays happen. It's one of the things they've really missed on this Detroit Lion defense.
Now, Royal Cathcart, the replay man, evidently having a look to see whether or not it was a catch before the ball came out. Quite a hit by William White on Hobie Brenner. Fine pass from Hebert.
Now, possession is the whole thing. Brenner's got it, puts it away, and there comes the helmet right on the ball.
Well, did he actually have the next foot in motion? They usually want you to take that stride after you come down with the ball.
Now, this is the job. You really have to appreciate how tough it is for these guys right here to do this kind of work in super slow motion, much less the guys that are right on the field.
Well, and sometimes when we see the replays, as do they, that slow motion can be a little deceiving as well. So they're still discussing it.
Wayne Fonson is staring at the ground.
After further review, play stands, interception, Detroit first down.
Well, they called it an interception. It was a fumble recovery by Dennis Gibson.
It's funny, we saw Wayne staring at the ground. A couple of the big games so far this year the Lions have had, when they have a big field goal or a big play, he won't watch. He looks away.
First down at the 44-yard line of New Orleans for Detroit. Peete runs out of time. Ricky Jackson has him for the sack. Well, Ricky Jackson, if he gets one each quarter, he'll fulfill his goal for today.
That's right. He told us yesterday, he goes, well, guys, it's time for the Pro Bowl push. The voting's in 2 weeks. I haven't had very many sacks. I got 4.5 so far this season. I want 4 or 5 today. Well, here's the first, Ricky. You got 3.5 quarters to go to get the rest of them. You know, Ricky's been a guy, he has been the star. They've turned him loose and said, go play defense in the past. Right now, Pat Swilling on the other side is having a great year, and Ricky Jackson and he are just supposed to sort of funnel things inside. They have very tight defensive assignments. There is no real one star on this defense.
2nd and 18 for Rodney Peete and the Lions, and that one sails, picked off by Massey. Massey, a good return to the 47-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Glover stopped him there for the Lions. The pass was intended for Robert Clark, and it just simply got away from Rodney Peete.
Now, we talk about the assignment of these slot guys is to get into the zones. Now, watch here. He's got to float it up over the zone, and he floats it up too high. He could have gunned that one in particular, but right there, Clark should have had a chance at it, but Peete overthrew him, and Massey trying to make up for a few bad plays last week and an early bad play this week.
Massey gave up the long pass to Stanley that set up the Lions score, but he has now picked off his 5th interception. He had 2 against the Rams. Those were overlooked by the problems he had with Willie Anderson. Hilliard on first down gets 5, maybe 6. Stopped by Dennis Gibson. Now we are inside in the comfort of the Silverdome on a blustery, wintry day in Pontiac, Michigan. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross. The Lions having opened the scoring in the first period. Rodney Peete hitting Walter Stanley down to the 8-yard line with a long bomb, and then Peete running it in from 6 yards out. Robert Massey has just intercepted for the New Orleans Saints after the Lions had a good chance on the fumble recovery by Dennis Gibson. 2nd and 5. Dalton Hilliard stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Chris Spielman leading the charge, number 54.
Wayne Fonz emphasized to us on Friday, you've got to have things done. You got to pursue to the ball. Everybody's got to stay kind of behind the ball carrier because Hilliard likes to cut back. Look at all the responsibility being taken here. You got Spielman, you got Gibson, you got Ball. Everybody's in the right place, so Hilliard does not have a crack to cut back into.
Saints go to 4 wideouts now, something they don't do as frequently as other teams. Perriman and Harris joining Hill and Martin. The shotgun. And the receiver, Martin, tripped on the carpet here in the Silverdome. So Hebert outlucked again. Had the ball on the money to Hobie Brenner, and that turned into a fumble recovery for Detroit. This time his receiver falls down. 4th down.
I think when they originally came up with this plastic grass, they figured it'd take a lot of the element out of the game. They just have new elements. People, your feet get caught in the carpet, you trip, you fall.
Eric Martin just took a header there, and Stanley awaits the punt from Barnhart. Barnhart angling to the corner, and it bounces into the end zone. Touchback. So at the Silverdome, with 4:41 to go in the first quarter, the Lions hold the lead. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. A 7-0 Lions lead here in the first period. First down at their 20-yard line following the Barnhart punt. Rodney Peete talking things over with Robert Clark. Ready for this first play from the scrimmage. New Orleans in their base defense at 3-4 on first down, and they've now got the rookie Wayne Martin in, replacing James Geathers on this play. Martin, number 93, the rookie out of Arkansas, the #1 pick, and they have high hopes for his future. Richard Johnson, the motion man. Rodney Peete again with a lot of running room, and he takes off for the first down to the 32-yard line of Detroit.
It's one of the disadvantages of trying to play this run and shoot offense with a 3-4 is your linebackers get so conscious of going back and getting into the receiver's ways that if the quarterback will step up, it really opens things up. Watch, it's only a 3-man rush. He gets past the rush. Now he's got 10-15 yards before he even gets to a quarterback. And this is the reason that they go to the 4-man rush, to contain the quarterback more up the middle.
So a first down just over the 30-yard line. At the 31 they spotted. 3 wide receivers to the right now for Rodney Peete. Loose ball. Saints. The Saints have it. Peete fumbling the exchange from center Kevin Glover. And New Orleans has the ball at the Lions' 34-yard line. Pat Swilling came up with it, number 56.
And what you have to watch for is watch Glover, the center, number 53. He's trying to reach to his right. I think he just basically runs away from Rodney Peete. Peete never gets the ball. The ball comes up short behind Glover when he snaps it, and Peete never really had a chance to get it at all.
Well, a first quarter filled with miscues here by both teams. And this time it's New Orleans coming up with the turnover. They came into the game +2 in that category. First down inside the Lions' 35-yard line. One setback is Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard off tackle for about 6. Jerry Ball and Jimmy Williams on the tackle.
You look at the stats of a guy that's 6 foot, 6'1", 305 pounds. What's he do best? Power, right? Not really. This guy pursues. Look at him get down the line. Dombrowski, 72, tries to get him. He runs right away from him, gets down the line, runs 10, 15 yards, and gets Hilliard before he can get much of a gain.
And that puts Dalton Hilliard over 1,000 yards for the season, coming in with 992. Saints have a 2nd and 5. 3 tight ends in. Greg Scales, Tice, and Brunner. Hebert, and it's almost picked off by Terry Taylor. Intended to John Tice, number 82. Hebert looked like he was trying to just loft that ball in and make an easy catch for Tice. Had he thrown it a little harder, Taylor had no shot at the ball.
It looked like Taylor got that first hand on the ball, knew he was going to have an interception, was trying to decide what kind of end zone dance he was going to do once he got it down there and spiked it. And unfortunately, he didn't bring it over to the other hand and tuck it in. But it was a very, very dangerous, possibly ill-advised pass on the part of Bobby Hebert.
And New Orleans not getting any help from the Rams today. Rams on top, 14 is it. 4 wide receivers, inside handout to Hilliard. He's got some room, and he has the first down. Inside the Lion 20. Tripped up by Blaze. Good play with the 4 wideouts in on the passing situation. Little draw to Hilliard.
The offensive coordinator, Carl Smith, on the sideline. It was a great call by Carl, and the coaches, you know, they were very concerned, as we mentioned earlier in the game, about Detroit's pass rush. And there's nothing better when you get a pass rushing team like this coming upfield and going crazy. You hold a back with the quality running ability of a Dalton Hilliard back, hand him the ball, and those linemen all shoot past him. All of a sudden, he's one-on-one with the backs.
Well, the Saints now in scoring position at the 20. Jordan in motion. Hilliard in the middle. Driven back after a gain of 5 by Dennis Gibson, number 98. Gibson, the third-year man from Iowa State. We mentioned just coming back from injured reserve for the game against Cleveland on Thanksgiving Day. And with Spielman in the middle, they've got 2 really solid inside linebackers. Not a lot of speed for pass coverage, but boy, are they tough on the run.
Oh, exactly. And their backups, you know, number 50, Caston, and Nico Noga, number 51, are good quality run guys. I mean, they've got some guys that can stuff the middle behind Jerry Ball.
10 linebackers on the roster of the Lions, 2 of them inactive today with minor injuries, Victor Jones and George Jamison. Hilliard close to the 10-yard line. It'll leave third and about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Eric Williams, defensive end, number 76 on the tackle.
The kind of plays we're seeing in this drive right here from the New Orleans Saints was a kind of football you saw from them the last couple years. Very controlled, very methodical. When they ran, they pounded it at you. When they threw it, they kind of dinked it at you. Much like San Francisco used to do in the early 80s, just sort of dinking around and making their easy yardage with the run. They haven't done that this year. It's what they have to get back to.
On 3rd and 2, 3 tight ends in. Scales running Tyson Brenner. Eric Martin in motion. Hilliard diving for the first down, and it looks like he has it. Tripped up by Williams, Eric Williams. But he has crossed the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, New Orleans, as time winds down here in the first quarter.
They'd have had a heck of a time keeping him out of the end zone right there if Eric Williams hadn't have burst through underneath Brock, number 67, the right tackle, and tripped him up.
So a very calm drive by the New Orleans Saints, and it looks like they're just going to let this count down here to end the first period. And they do. So that's the end of the first quarter at the Silverdome, with the score of the Detroit Lions 7, the New Orleans Saints nothing. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross as we look at downtown Detroit. We're out in Pontiac, Michigan in the Silverdome. And right now the New Orleans Saints threatening inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, and they're tough down here, as you can see. They've been consistent, but trailing 7-0 here as we begin the second period.
The key to that stat, I believe, is a big physical offensive line that can pound open holes up front.
Play action. Martin to about the 1-yard line. Taylor had the coverage, and it was pretty good coverage, but Hebert really threaded the needle there to Eric Martin.
And he also got some very good pass protection, because it was only a 3-step drop, and those defensive linemen were just a breath away and never really get a hand on him. Now watch Joel Hilgenberg, number 61, the center, going against Ball, 93. Ball's leading the Lions in sacks, and Hebert just threads that kind of underneath Chris Spielman's arm and just lays that right in there.
Yeah, Spielman just missed it. 2nd and goal. Hilliard, touchdown. Good blocks on the corner, and Hilliard knew that he could just romp in. So Mora looking a little more relieved now after a shaky start by his Saints in the first quarter. A chance now to tie it up on the toe of Morton Anderson.
Morton Anderson will attempt the extra point.
Now we're going to look at it from the other side, but we just see the ball pitched out here. Hilliard, look, watch his patience. He's not running full speed. He sees the corners open. He goes, okay, great blocking, guys. I'll take this 6. But it was a very good job specifically by Tice, number 82. Did a nice job on the outside to open up that street.
John Forcade holding for Anderson. The point after good. And we have a tie football game at the Silverdome. And the swilling fumble recovery of Rodney Peete's problem with the exchange from center Kevin Glover, leading to this tying score. 34 yards in 8 plays, and in the New Orleans style, using up 4:26 on the clock. A 1-yard touchdown run by that man, Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard crossing the 1,000-yard mark on the drive for the season, and his 15th touchdown of the year. That's an all-time Saints points record for Hilliard. He had that coming into the game and has now added to it.
You know, he's the guy that comes in for Reuben Mays. Mays goes down with his Achilles injury again, and all of a sudden the Saints have another 1,000-yard rush. And I think you've got to look at those guys up front. Even with Haverdink in, you know, Dombrowski was a left tackle and Edelman was a left guard, but they've managed to put Haverdink at left tackle and Dombrowski at left guard and haven't missed a beat. They've been guys the last 3 or 4 years that have made 1,000-yard rushers out of these guys.
Hilliard and Sanders are a lot alike in their physical makeup and in their style. You alluded to that at the beginning of the game, Randy, and they're also great cutback runners. And talking to both coaches, they say, yeah, you know, we kind of expect the same thing from each of them. The advantage that's given to Sanders, again by both coaches, is the fact that he's just a little faster, that's the difference. He can give you that explosion and disappear.
He's got the speed and acceleration, and he's got the ability to make people miss. They can be right in front of him, and they don't touch Barry Sanders.
Dalton Hilliard, no slouch. They are 1-3 in the NFC rushing at this point of the season. Mel Gray is the deep man, the former Saint. Anderson's kickoff taken 5 yards deep by Gray, and he brings it out. Does not get to the 20-yard line, but is stopped at about the 19.
Gray on the return for
Colbrand, reserve linebacker, made the tackle. Joe Colbrand. 14-7, Eagles lead over the Giants.
You know, bringing a kickoff back like that 5 yards deep raises a few eyebrows normally, but Wayne Fonz told us Friday, I like Mel Gray. I'm going to give him a chance. I've given him the green light. 5 yards deep, bring it out. And I know Frank Gans, their special teams coach, has got to love that. Anytime Frank Gans can get an opportunity for his guys to show what they can do, he's going to take it.
Miami being shut out by Kansas City as we see some other scores from action around the league. They spotted at the 18, first down Lions, tied at 7. Going deep for Johnson. He's got it. First down, Detroit, to the New Orleans 36-yard line. And Randy, that is what the Silver Stretch pass offense is supposed to look like. He's wide open.
Here's Richard Johnson, 84, coming out of the slot. Watch how open he's going to be. He's going to almost fall down trying to adjust to this ball. Who's around him? Waymer, 44, rotates late. But Johnson can get there. He can turn around. He can almost fall. The ball gets there, and he goes. They've got to get pressure on Rodney Peete. You let a quarterback in the run and shoot, stand back there. He will pick you apart.
46-yard gain. Sanders for about 4. Looking at the early offense by the Lions, despite the fact they were stopped in the first couple of possessions, they are wanting to throw the ball more today, it appears, Randy. And, of course, that's tribute to that #1 rush defense of New Orleans.
I think so. And you're also seeing one of the difficult aspects of defending this run-and-shoot offense. You want to take the run away? Fine, take the run away. We don't care. We'll throw it down the field. If you're going to commit to the run, you'll put all that pressure on your defensive backs.
On second down and 8. Peete in trouble this time, and he is sacked. At the 41-yard line, Mills and Swilling arrive. So they give Swilling a half a sack. His little contest with Tim Harris of Green Bay and Keith Ballard of the Vikings continues to be close.
Now, this looked to be a pass that was designed to get off early. Rodney wants to throw the ball now. He sees the pressure coming from Swilling. He has to step up, and there's Sam Mills. So you call that a half a sack, East? We saw Pat Swilling 2 weeks ago, and Pat said, my goal for the season is to have 15, maybe 20 sacks. Well, Pat, you're at 15. Let's go for 20 now. Onward and upward.
A loss of about 5 on the play. It'll leave 3rd and 13. Lions at the Saints 39. Peete under pressure again. Goes to the sideline. Johnson. To the New Orleans 3-yard line.
Johnson hasn't gotten off to this kind of a start in the football game since Jim Kelly was throwing to him in the USFL when he was with the Houston Gamblers. They're dropping their coverage right now in the defensive backfield. They're not getting the immediate pressure they really need, and these receivers are just finding empty holes. Watch, Swilling is going to get some pressure here on him, but Rodney just steps up, sees there's an empty guy behind him, and Massey seems to be standing there, and also Milton Mack, number 28, was there and wasn't able to really step up. I'm sorry, that was Atkins, number 28.
36-yard gain, 4 catches, 116 on the day for him. Barry Sanders. Weimer got a piece. Sanders keeps plugging. Touchdown. Barry Sanders broke 3 tackles there. First Weimer, then Toy Cook. And I believe Ricky Jackson had a shot at him.
Now watch the leg drive of this guy. You're going to see him run, and he's going to go right over here to the left, take that counter step. Now here comes the fun part. Weimer, no, sorry, you're not going to grab my jersey. You're not going to keep me out. Von Johnson, no, sorry, you're not going to keep me out. And he gets in there. Wayne Fontes is very concerned about Barry Sanders being tackled by the jersey all the time. And if you drive through tackles and never get a chance to grab your jersey, you're going to score. Barry Sanders, good job.
Well, the Detroit Lions with a 14-7 lead, and the pass offense of the Silver Stretch coming alive really for the first time all season. 153 yards already. Big plays to the little guy, Richard Johnson, and then Sanders hammering it in.
Well, that's right. They've accepted the challenge. New Orleans says, you're not going to run on us. And right now, Detroit is saying, well, fine, we won't run on you. We'll just throw the ball out here to the little guys and let them run with it.
And Rodney Peete, there was some concern whether he'd be ready to go this week because of a recurring knee injury. It was only Friday when they decided that he could play, and so far, he's made the big play. Murray's kickoff. Bobby Morse from the 1. Look out, only Murray back. Touchdown, no flags. 99 yards. Well, Eddie Murray had the angle as the last man, but like most kickers, couldn't deliver the goods. And Bobby Morse, not exactly a speedster, comes up with a 99-yard kickoff return.
A kicker having an angle is kind of like having the right of way at an intersection when somebody runs a red light. It really doesn't mean too much. This is an excellent job by the New Orleans wedge. They open things up, and Bobby Morris starts up front, kind of sucks in the Detroit kickoff team, and then makes his cut back, and from here on, it's a race. James Griffin, number 34, is going to be coming into the picture from the right-hand side. He's got more of a chance of catching than Eddie Murray. And the kick is good by Martin Anderson.
Bobby Morse, out of Michigan State, left the Philadelphia Eagles, said that he had had enough football. We're told that it was really kind of a negotiating ploy. They wound up trading him to New Orleans. The Saints cut him twice this year, but Jim Mora brought him back this past week to join their special teams. They released Andre Johnson, who they had signed away from Atlanta to fill that role, but they cut Johnson, brought back Morse. Maybe it was just a gut feeling this week by the Saints, but look at that, a 99-yard kickoff return for 24-year-old Bobby Morse. You know, I can't help but reminiscing, as I was doing yesterday, Randy, with the Saints people, that I remember so well his father, Jim, scoring a touchdown that broke the Oklahoma win streak for the University of Notre Dame when I was a student there. It was back in 56 or 57 when Jim Morse came up with the biggest touchdown of his college career. He must be so proud of his son. A 99-yard kickoff return.
Well, he's got to be very, very proud of his son and excited that he's playing down in New Orleans. Rusty Comiskey, the PR guy for the Saints, told us his dad bought a box at the Superdome.
And they don't even live down there.
That's right. They don't live there, and he got to commit for 3 years.
So there's a happy guy, and we've now got a 14-14 tie with 10:46 to go in the first half. Morton Anderson will kick off to Mel Gray, and Gray, the former Saint, would love to bring it back all the way for Detroit. The league leader missed several games with an injury, but back in action for Detroit, and a very dangerous kick return. Anderson pounds this one. Gray brought it out from 5 yards deep on the last one, but that one near the end line, he wisely lets go through. So the Saints will start from their 20-yard line. 14-14 tie with the second quarter now having 10:39 to play. Pittsburgh on top of Houston. That's a big game for the Oilers. And San Francisco struggling against Atlanta with Jim Hannafin as the interim coach down there now, the departure of Marion Campbell.
Well, that big play has got to put some fire back into this New Orleans defense, and the key for them right here is to not let Detroit continue moving the ball. They've got to get pressure on Rodney Peete.
Johnson in motion. Peete just gets it away, and it is incomplete. He was hit from behind by Sam Mills as he tried to get the ball out to Jason Phillips.
Now you're going to see Barry Sanders come out of the area right back in here and step up here to try to block Sam Mills when he blitzes. Let's watch what happens. Barry's a great runner. What kind of a blocker is he? See him step up, just gets a shoulder in him, slows him down a little bit. A shoulder isn't going to slow Sam Mills down long, and he almost gets there in time to really break up the pass.
Second and 10. Peete 5 of 11. Richard Johnson away from Toy Cook as a first down to the 35-yard line. This is a real confident young man, even though Barry Sanders kidded him that he looked like somebody who had walked in off the street here and tried out for the Lions and got the job.
Oh, he knows what he can do. He's had a career for a long time in the USFL, catching a lot of passes. He was a star there, and look at those stats. 5 for 131 in the middle of the second quarter. I tell you, that record set last week against Massey could be in jeopardy. Flipper might only have it for a week.
First and 10 Lions from their own 35-yard line. Lomas Brown out of the lineup on this play. Sanders dropped for a loss back to the 30-yard line by Sam Mills.
When you're playing against a defense with the linebackers like the Saints, they're so experienced and they're so smart. Detroit runs that thing where Barry Sanders starts to the right, starts to the left, almost like he's going out for a pass, and it's like a sprint draw where Peete comes to him and hands him the ball. You're not going to fool defensive linebackers like the Saints have too many times with that kind of fake run.
We talked about the kind of year Wayne Fonts says that Lomas Brown is having, and he's on the bench right now with a minor injury of some kind, replaced by Chris Gamble, recently re-signed, second-year man from Iowa. Peete on second down, and he's dropped by Jackson. Ricky Jackson's second sack. He's right on course, one in each quarter.
Right on the money. And they got Gamble over at right tackle, number 70, and Sanders is over at left tackle. And that could be something here. Now watch your screen right here. You're going to have Gamble's going to pick up Warren 73, and Dallafor has been limping a little bit with the bad legs trying to block on Jackson and just can't deny him that soft shoulder in the corner, and Jackson comes around. Ricky, you're up to 6.5. 3 to go on the day. 2 down, 3 to go.
Right, he predicted 4, maybe 5, he said, today on the Pro Bowl course. Third and very long, back to the 20-yard line now for Peete and company. Pressure again, the screen to Sanders. Back to the 32-yard line, but well short of first down yardage. Gene Atkins stopped them there, and it'll leave fourth down. Still about 13 to go at the Lions' 32-yard line. So the Saints do the job defensively, and that gets applause from Jim Mora.
And he's the only person in this building who's going to applaud at all when something good happens for the Saints. It gets deathly quiet when something good happens for New Orleans.
Lions have been used to having fans from other cities come over and cheer against the Lions, but this aren't too many all the way from New Orleans today. Arnold's punt. Good return straight ahead, and New Orleans has good field position at the 39-yard line. 41-yard punt. An injured Lion is down.
Number 64, Eric Sanders, in the middle of your screen there. Look at him smelling that ammonia, trying to get the brain working back again. He covered on that punt and made a tackle, but it looked like he caught one of the return guy's knees in his head, and he's trying to get the cobwebs out. He started the game at right tackle. Now Lomas Brown goes down, and he's over at left tackle, and he's saying, no, do I flip my plays over? Do I snap on punts? Am I going to be on center?
They expect a lot out of this guy. And this man, Bobby Hebert, the Saints and their fans on first down, tied at 14. They're at their own 39-yard line. Hilliard chased back the other way, and the Lions stop him for a loss of a yard. Eric Williams and Kevin Brooks stripping through the blocking of the Saints.
Well, Kevin Brooks was the initial guy that got in there and made him cut back, and then the rest of that Detroit Lions defense, led by this man here, number 76, Eric Williams, he cut back right into those guys. There's 3 or 4 of them just sitting there and waiting, and they're playing the backside of that ball just perfect. They know Hilliard wants to cut it back.
Williams came to the Lions bench, and he is in some pain. Eric Williams injured on the last play, and Curtis Green is in defensively now, number 62, to replace him. 2nd and 11, New Orleans. And early movement. Early ball right in on top of Bobby Hebert. See whether they were drawn over. Referee Howard Rowe and his head linesman Dale Williams.
Jerry's over there saying, he blinked, ref, he blinked, I moved.
Line judge Jack Johnson. And it's going to be offside against the Lions. Well, of course, Joel Hilgenberg, the Saints center, says he lines up offside this guy.
Well, there's very little doubt.
Encroachment, defense, number 93, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Jerry Ball we see right there. He lines up right there. Now, somewhere in between that center and the nose guard, number 93, Jerry Ball, is the football. They're supposed to be able to look and have some free area. That's not there. That neutral zone, it's not a neutral zone. Most of the neutral zone is Jerry Ball's helmet when you play against him.
2nd down and 7. And I know you're speaking from memory, too. But Hilgenberg agreed with you. Talking with him yesterday. Hebert on 2nd down. He's going deep. Just overthrows Perriman. Perriman got behind Bruce Alexander and William White. And that ball just overthrown, and you can see Alexander complain there. He thought that the receiver pushed off him.
Well, it looked from where we were sitting up here that he was a little bit both ways. Alexander was pushing and Perriman was pushing. That goes into the new pass interference rules. They're pretty liberal now. It's up to the ref to decide who exactly, or the umpire to decide who is really doing the pass interference. Now watch this. Alexander's hitting him. Perriman hits him and starts to pull away. You see that little move by Perriman, that kind of pull with his left arm, that slows the defender down and gives him a lead.
3rd down. Intended for Eric Martin. Flags here. And it looks like Crockett, number 39, will be flagged for interference on Eric Martin. Ray Crockett, the Baylor rookie. Illegal push by Crockett, the signal from referee Howard Rowe.
Holding, number 39, on a defense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, it's a defensive holding call, and while he didn't name Crockett, he was the man on Eric Martin. So the Saints move up now to their 47-yard line. And a 1st down.
Now 1st and 10 for the Orleans.
6:29 to go here in the first half. We're tied at 14. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Silverdome. There's Jerry Ball, and to get an idea of how close he's lined up opposite Joel Hilgenberg. Hilliard from the I formation. Chris Spielman stops him after a gain of a yard.
one of those linebackers that he's a classic. He's a throwback to the Butkus type guy. I ran into he and Eric Andelsick this morning, and they said, I wish this game was outside. It's 3 degrees, the wind's blowing. We should play him outside. We'd have a better chance.
And that's Andelsick from LSU, too. Was not exactly used to the cold weather.
Well, I don't think it takes too long to be up here in the cold Michigan general area for your blood to thicken up a little bit.
San Francisco having a tough time with Atlanta so far. Second down at 9. 49-yard line of New Orleans. Buford Jordan. Not much for Jordan. That may be 2. Over the midfield stripe, it'll leave 3rd down and 6. Blades and Spielman again.
This would be the perfect time for Bobby Hebert to go back to his tight end. Hobie Brenner dropped the ball earlier right after he caught it after the reception. The ball was hit right on the helmet, or the helmet put on the ball, and he fumbled. But 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 is the ideal time to hit your tight end.
Hilliard, the running back, is flanked wide to the right. Jordan, the lone setback. Lonzel Hill in motion. In the middle to Perriman. And that is a physical mismatch. Jimmy Williams bulldogs Perriman down. Forward progress will leave them short of a 1st down at the 44-yard line of the Lions. And the punting unit comes on the field. Jimmy Williams at 225 on Perriman at 175. Perriman no chance to bull his way for the 1st down yardage.
Wide receivers don't bull for 1st down. They dive for 1st down.
Walter Stanley back, awaiting the punt from Barnhart. Barnhart standing at his own 41. Down at the 10-yard line. Kim Phillips had the ball bounce right into his hand, so the Lions will have to start deep in their own end when we return. At least for 1 year.
And that game we watched all over the world by all kinds of servicemen. There's a lot of interest in that one.
Next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. 1st down, Detroit from their 10-yard line. They roll to the left, and Pete's pass deflected, intended for Jason Phillips. And Ricky Jackson looked like the ball may have hit him right in the helmet, or he got a hand on it to knock it away. Peete kind of just casualed that pass over there, and it cost him.
Now Swilling and Jackson changed places. Ricky's coming over from the left side, and that's another way you can be an effective pass rusher, because Eric Sanders, number 64, the left tackle, did a fine job. That'll drive you nuts as an offensive lineman. You got the guy practically at the line of scrimmage. He just jumps up and bats down the ball.
Good job by Ricky Jackson, who's already got 2 sacks in this 1st half. 2nd and 10. Peete in trouble. To Sanders, flag down as he's hit. The ball incomplete.
I think we might have had a lineman downfield.
Atkins put the hit on Sanders, and Swilling had the rush on Peete. Pat Swilling, by the way, did not get a credit for a half a sack on that earlier sack by Mills, so he still has 14.5 officially. I think your call will be verified, Randy.
Offense, number 70, ineligible downfield, penalty decline, 2nd down.
Well, that's Chris Gamble, the 2nd-year man from Iowa, activated recently by the Lions and having to come into action here because Lomas Brown, we're told, has the flu really bothering him. And Sanders, as Randy told you, has moved into Lomas Brown's spot at left tackle, and Gamble pressed into service at right. And a little mix-up part of the officials here. Checking down and distance. And
yeah, last play, you see a guy like Gamble run downfield. A lot of that can be contributed to the guys not used to being in the game. Things start breaking down. The first instinct an offensive lineman has is to sort of try to make something happen. Find somebody to block because your ball carrier, your quarterback's in trouble. You got to keep your composure. You'll end up downfield every time on a pass when you get excited.
So it's 3rd down and 13. Peete standing at his goal line. Upfield to Johnson, and a good defensive play by Atkins. Atkins saw that one coming all the way and knocked it away. Johnson was open behind the secondary, but a perfectly timed jump by Atkins.
Good protection for Peete. He just tries to flip it in right over the coverage and doesn't quite get it up high enough. Atkins comes in, and Massey, number 40, comes in at the very end there and figures Johnson needs a shot and gives it to him.
So Jim Arnold will have to stand in the end zone as the Saints shut down the Lions on that series.
That's right. Massey's not a very big guy, but he told us yesterday, I finally got a group of wide receivers I can be a bully against. I can push these guys around.
Arnold cranks this one, backing up Rod Harris inside his 40. Harris to the 49-yard line where Keith Karpinski made the stop. A 53-yard punt by Jim Arnold. So the Lions had the early lead here at the Pontiac Silverdome. Rodney Peete's 6-yard scoring run after a long pass to Walter Stanley set it up. And then New Orleans tying it up at 7-7. Lions going ahead again, and Bobby Morse returning at 99 yards on a kickoff. Tied at 14. That's how we stand here with 3:22 to go in the first half.
One thing we haven't seen so far is that desperation, that fire, that drive you expect out of a team that has their backs against the wall. New Orleans has got to get things going.
Fighting for a playoff spot, they must win their final 4 games and get some help from other teams. Play action out to Lonzel Hill, and he gets about 8 yards on the play. I believe 2nd and 2 for New Orleans in Lions territory.
Now we talk about Jerry Ball. Look at this. How much room is there from the end of that football and Jerry Ball's helmet right here and his hand right here? Give me a break. Is the guy that got that good of vision from the side? He can't see that maybe that's a little bit offsides?
Spoken like a center. Jerry Ball would argue with you.
I call it an observation.
2nd down. Nearly 3 required for a first. Hebert looking at 7 men across the front. Hilliard squirts through there, has the first down to the Lions' 37-yard line. Tripped up there by William White.
Now Joel Hilgenberg, the center for the Saints, made the point that, look, this is offsides. This is offsides, and this is offsides. But watch the technique. Watch the left hand of Hilgenberg, number 61, snap up into Ball's chest. He gets a good block, tries to turn him, gets an effective screen on him. Ball can't come off and make the tackle, and Dalton Hilliard breaks the tackle and comes through.
So we've reached the 2-minute warning at the Silverdome, and we're tied at 14. Well, this is the picture facing the New Orleans Saints. They're in the middle of a whole bunch of clubs. They're trying to make that wild card playoff spot. They'd have to win all 4 remaining games and then get some help. And they haven't exactly got themselves an easy stretch ahead. Buffalo, one of the very good teams in the league, is next, and they play them at Buffalo. And then Philadelphia and Indianapolis still remaining. So it's not an easy route for them when they know they have to win and then get help from other clubs.
Well, exactly. Looking at 2 8-4 teams and a 6-6 team in Indianapolis that is a lot like them, is going through a disappointing season and is ready to take it out on somebody.
3 tight ends in on first down for the Saints. Good protection. Brenner hit by Jimmy Williams, but holds on and gains about 6 yards on it, maybe 7.
Hebert's pass related to Obi Brenner, tackled by Jimmy Williams.
Obi Brenner, number 85, finally putting a full season together so far, even though he had a knee injury in training camp.
We saw that score, Philadelphia out 17-7. Obviously, that wind and cold at the Meadowlands isn't stopping down the attack of the Eagles too much.
35-yard field goal by Roger Ruzek, the former Cowboy kicker, opening that lead for the Eagles. But actually, it looks like it's been the Eagles' defense and special teams doing the job. They've had a 60-yard interception return by Clyde Simmons for their touchdown to make it 14-0. Dalton Hilliard on 2nd down. Not much, if anything.
We talked at the beginning of the game, the way to really stop Dalton Hilliard down is to get a lot of backside pursuit. When he goes this way, you got to keep your guys, William Wyatt here, Spielman here, your linemen have got to come this way. You got to keep angle on the ball, stay behind the ball. Now watch this, Hilliard's going to get the ball. They don't overrun him. They're going to stay right in his back pocket. He tries to cut back. There's Ball, there's Spielman, there's Gibson. They're all right there.
So it's third down and a long 5. Hebert gets it off to Hilliard. And Hilliard winds up with about a 2-yard gain. Tripped up by William White, but Hebert was chased all the way back to midfield by Jimmy Williams.
It was a creative play by Bobby Hebert and a great play by Chris Spielman and Benny Blaze to hold it to a 2-yard gain. Good
Timeout
defensive
call
play.
by New Orleans.
Now what to look for here, we're going to see Dalton Hilliard come out of the right-hand side of your screen and try to pass block on number 59, Jimmy Williams. See, Brock tries to get a hand on him. Hilliard tries to slow him down. Williams is coming. He's actually got control, it looks like, of Hebert, but just drops it off to Hilliard. Now watch, Benny Blades, 36 came in there underneath, brought him down, and good pursuit from the backside by Chris Spielman, number 54.
So it'll be a field goal try. 48-yarder by Anderson. And that is wide to the right. He had the foot, but it's wide right. And so the Lions have stopped the New Orleans Saints with 11 seconds remaining in the first half. We remain tied at 14. Well, coming up at halftime, Brent Nerve will be in our New York studios with all the scores, highlights, and latest information. We'll also have a special report from Dan Rather on the summit in Malta coming up at halftime. Morton Anderson missing from 48 yards away, and the Lions, with 11 seconds left, have the football at their own 31-yard line. Sanders picks his way for a first down. Time ticking away, and the Lions get it stopped with 4 seconds still left at their own 42-yard line. Make it the 43 on Johnson, the man to stop Sanders.
And here's a situation with 4 seconds to go. Rodney Peete will come to the sidelines here and confer with Mouse Davis and Wayne Fonts. But you know they're going to have to bring in the old Big Ben offense. They'll put all the wide receivers one side. Rodney's going to drop back, settle in about the 32-yard line, and just test his arm. He's going to try to throw it down around the 5 or 10-yard line and hope his guys can bat it around and come up with it.
Well, interestingly, they brought in John Ford for the first time, the 6'2" rookie from Virginia. And he is their number 2 pick who came off injured reserve and has seen little action here in this first half. But he at least gives them a little height at the wide receiver spot, so he figures into the play you just described.
Well, wearing a receiver's number in 6'2", 204, that's the closest thing they have to a tight end on this offense. Everybody
right.
else is 5'6", 5'7", 175, 160 pounds.
So they're at their 43-yard line. Robert Clark goes out wide left, Stanley wide right. Ford will run from the right slot, and Johnson has been the hot receiver from the left slot. For Stanley, and a collision at the 5-yard line. 2 bodies down, and so's the ball. And so that's the end of the first half with the score. The New Orleans Saints 14, the Detroit Lions 14. Tim Ryan with Randy Cross. We're about to start the second half at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Bobby Hebert and the New Orleans Saints having a struggle here against the so-called lowly Detroit Lions. And in the first half, Randy, finally the Lions' silver stretch offense doing what it is designed to do, racking up some passing yards, the best half they've had all season long, with the exception of their game against the Giants.
Exactly, and I think a lot of that has to go into the fact where New Orleans is committed to stopping their run. And by committing to the run, they've sort of left that gap open between the linebackers and the defensive backs, and Rodney Peete has taken advantage of it, and specifically taken advantage of it with Richard Johnson, number 84, one of his slot receivers. He's caught him inside those seams numerous times.
Just an injury update for you as we begin the second half. We saw Walter Stanley go down as he tried to catch that last gasp pass at the end of the half, and he's apparently all right, but needed some assistance off the field at that point. The Saints, meanwhile, lost wide receiver Floyd Turner, the rookie from Northwest Louisiana, back in the first quarter. He came down on the sideline, leaping high for an incomplete pass and fractured his wrist, so he's gone for the day. Eric Williams came off hurting for the Lions, but has been back in action and apparently is all right. A pinched nerve, the report on him. And Lomas Brown, the starting left tackle of the Lions, having an outstanding season, adapting to the new blocking schemes of the run and shoot. He's suffering with the flu and has been in and out of the lineup, necessitating further changes. And Walter Stanley, as you can see, is just fine, thank you. Lions offensive line beat up all season long with the likes of Steve Mott, Harvey Salem, Mike Utley, all on injured reserve, and having to do some shuffling around. So when Brown, feeling ill with the flu, went out, that meant that Eric Sanders moved from right to left tackle, and he's not normally a starter. And a young Chris Gamble having to get into the action. So Mel Gray, the former Saint, ready to return as we begin the second half. Anderson's field goal. Anderson's kickoff. That'll be some field goal. Taking a yard keep by Gray. And Gray takes a shot out of bounds. It'll bring flags. Milton Mack really cracking his old teammate Mel Gray. Gray got to the 24-yard line. And so that's a costly penalty levied against Milton Mack to start this second half.
Well, Gray was clearly out of bounds, and you know Milton Mack's going to take his time getting back over to that sideline, because I guarantee you Jim Moore is waiting for him.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 24, kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That wasn't even a very hard decision. Milton Mack definitely was ill-advised taking that hit on him at all.
Well, his teammate already had Gray all wrapped up there, too. He wasn't going anywhere, that's for sure. Gibson already had the tackle on him. Rodney Peete checking the sign from the Lions sideline, and they have a first down start from their 39-yard line. Tied at 14 as we're just underway in the second half. Peete for Johnson, overthrows him. Coming over to cut it off, Toy Cook, number 41. Richard Johnson, even when you talk to him and suggest that he's short but slow, doesn't even get offended. You know, he said, yeah, that's right, I am. So what? I'm quick. I can make those moves from the slot. Here's a guy that they re-signed. He was working for IBM, and they dragged him back out there, a free agent, as they have just suffered at the wide receiver position from the get-go this year, and then they lost the rookie John Ford early on, and Richard Johnson had all the confidence in the world that he could be an NFL receiver, and he's proven it. 2nd and 10. Rodney Peete saw something he didn't like, so the Saints probably making a few defensive adjustments, Randy, would you speculate here?
Exactly, and Peete isn't going to take that snap from the center until he's absolutely positive of what's going on. It's not always because of changes, though. A lot of the times, a quarterback can get a little bit confused. He can read something into the defense that isn't there, and it's a real sign of composure and maturity that Peete can really say, okay, now wait a minute, I'll take a timeout rather than make a bad play.
There's Bob Galliano on the left of your screen, number 14, and he is the backup quarterback today. Chuck Long in the foreground is the number 3 QB on this team, and the job is Rodney Peete, the rookie from USC. Bothered with a knee injury. Galliano did a great job on Thursday in the victory over Cleveland, but was not upset that Peete got the start today. Obviously, everybody wants to play, but Galliano says, hey, I know that he's the starter here.
And they had a curious situation with that Thanksgiving game. It looked like Chuck Long might get a chance. You know, big draft choice. They've expected a lot of things out of him. He might get a chance to start. He said, hey, if I can't have the whole game, I don't want it.
I have a feeling that might get him a ticket out of here, which is apparently what he's thinking about. 2nd and 10. Peete is sacked. James Gethers, number 97. And Peete a little slow to get up. Now don't forget, he's got a bad knee.
While he was being tackled there, he was twisted down. He took a lot of torque and a lot of pressure on that injured left knee.
He wears a brace on it. And this, of course, was a risk for Rodney Peete at any time. And he's in some pain. You saw Galliano on the sidelines. He knows he's coming in. Bob Galliano, former USFLer, familiar with the run and shoot. His numbers aren't that great, but he did the job against Cleveland, 9 of 19. A touchdown pass to Johnson, no interceptions. He and both the coach Wayne Font saying they accomplished what they wanted to. Don't give up the ball to the Browns. Galliano did a good job. Chuck Long will now be the backup. Wayne Fonts is out there, obviously concerned about Rodney Peete.
Now, the thing to watch here, see the pressure that's going to be put on. Ricky Jackson is going right here against Eric Sanders. Comes out. Now watch Gathers has got him. Now watch the left knee. Gets twisted down and landed on into the ground like that. And Rodney immediately goes to it. One thing you've got to know, he's wearing that great big brace on there. If it's any consolation, with that kind of a brace on it, you're not going to have a serious injury.
So we have a timeout on the field, and we'll be back at the Silverdome in a moment. You're looking at Rodney Peete on the Lions bench. He came off under his own power. They had started to wheel out the cart for him to come off on, but he walked off. And Randy, you pointed out how big a brace that is he's wearing.
Well, from personal experience, too, I can tell you can take shots. It hurts when you take a shot, but those large double upright braces prevent major injuries.
So Galliano, the quarterback now, and just throws it down as he saw the pressure on, and they're going to call him for grounding the football. Now that gets into that area of, was he throwing it to avoid the sack? The officials say yes. So on first down, Galliano has a problem.
Intentional grounding, loss of 10 yards, loss of down, fourth down.
Third down play, of course. First down out there for Galliano, but it was a third down situation.
Well, aside from the referee's judgment, it's not really a bad decision. You see, Gathers is going to come through Sanders here. It's going to be a sack. He says the heck with that and just dumps it right at Sanders' feet, who is an eligible receiver, but never really had a chance to catch it.
So it'll be Arnold punting to Brett Perryman. Back for the first time to receive, and it's a dandy punt by Arnold. Perryman backed up inside his 20 and dives out to the 28-yard line. Ray Crockett made the tackle there. And Jim Arnold delivers again a 56-yarder for that fine punter. Well, next Sunday, doubleheader action on CBS, beginning with the NFL today. The Lions will be at Chicago. Randy and I will be there taking in some of that nice lake air in the Windy City. New Orleans, meanwhile, will be at Buffalo, another huge game for them. And they have to win them all. Dallas at Philadelphia. It all begins at 12:30 Eastern Time, and then the doubleheader game follows. The Giants at Denver, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, the second game of our doubleheader. Frazier in motion. Back to Hilliard on first down. Benny Blades, good reaction, holds him to a gain of about 3. Fun to watch Blades and White trying to out-hit each other from their safety spots.
Now watch the ball right here in the middle of the screen. He is the #1 sacker for the Detroit Lions. He's going to come up here to his right-hand side, trying to get by Hilgenberg, number 61. Gets by pretty good right there. But sorry about that. You're not going to get by the guard, because the guard's going to be standing right there waiting for you to come around the corner, Jerry.
Well, they need all the help they can get on that guy. 2nd and 5. Hebert play action. Runs out of time. Unloads the ball, but they're going to call out a sack for Michael Kofer, number 55. Part-time duty for Cooper today because of assorted injuries that have bothered him all season long. But they get him in there to rush the passer, and he delivers with a sack.
It's been a tough year for Kofor, but I tell you, Eric Williams, number 76, did a good job spinning and coming off a couple stunts inside, and Mike Kofor got a good immediate pressure on him. They were all over Bobby, and Bobby's lucky they whistled him for in the grass, or the same guy that called grounding on Rodney Peete would have called grounding on him that time.
First sack today by the Lions. Saints have had 4 already. Third down and 16 from the 21. Crowd getting into it now. Out to Hilliard. Hilliard takes a tough shot from behind and is well short of first down yardage at the 30-yard line.
That was Eric Williams hustling downfield to getting a good shot on him right there at the end as everybody else is propping him up.
Ray Crockett with the initial contact coming up on the secondary spot, and there's Williams. Got him from behind. So the Saints are stopped, and the Lions will get the ball back. For Bob Galliano, it will appear. The injury to Rodney Peete. Walter Stanley waiting for it at the 25-yard line of Detroit. Barnhart's punt comes up a little short. Stanley to the 38-yard line, met by Joe Colbrand, number 55. And so with 11:53 to go, third quarter, we're still tied at 14. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross indoors at the Silverdome in wintry Detroit, Michigan. Pontiac, actually, outside the city of Detroit. And a 14-14 tie in the third quarter. And Barry Sanders, as you pointed out at the beginning of the game, a key factor, but running against the #1 rush defense in the league. And you can see they've had an effect on him.
But you know, he's the kind of guy, he's got really no ego. He doesn't care. His main objective is to win the game for the Detroit Lions.
Lions have come out passing, and it's paid off for them, but now it's Bob Galliano, the injured Rodney Peete. And that's dropped by Jason Phillips, number 24. Flag down on the play back at the line of scrimmage.
And it would seem it might have been the right guard, number 67, Dallafor, being flagged for holding.
Referee Howard Rowe signals holding Detroit. So Galliano in a hole here now.
Holding number 67 on offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That is Dallafor, number 67.
Now watch right here. Here's Warren. He is just going to go right over Dallafor, and that's one of those holding calls you can't really avoid. Now watch him. He gets the inside. He's running over him right now, running through that left arm. A good takedown. Maybe he tripped.
I love your perspective. Years of experience of having to deal with those embarrassing moments yourself, huh? Do whatever's required. First down at 20. Galliano, and incomplete. Johnson unable to hold on. The ball arrived, and so did Toy Cook, number 41, the cornerback of New Orleans. Second and 20. A look at the Silverdome, a lot of empty seats, something they've become accustomed to in recent years, but they've been doing a lot better in attendance this year because these Lions have played exciting, even though they've been losing football. And it's 14-14 here as they got the early lead and are all tied up with New Orleans. Galliano is dropped at the 30-yard line by Frank Warren. He got about 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. It'll leave third down and about 17.
There seems to be a subtle difference here between Rodney Peete and Bob Galliano. We've seen a couple incompletions, and both these passes were getting there just as the defender was getting there. Rodney was hitting him well before the defender got there. He seems to be a little bit more comfortable right now than Bob at reading the defenses and getting the ball out there quickly and effectively.
Rodney's numbers as he watches from the bench now with that bad knee re-injured. The last offensive series, Galliano, the fifth-year man from Utah State, had a brief look with the San Francisco 49ers. Had a good career, short one in the USFL. Utah State. Gets some time here and has his man, but Stanley drops it. But Galliano's had 2 drops on him already.
And this is a Detroit Lion receiving corps from earlier in the year. These guys weren't holding on to the ball. Rodney Peete and Bob Galliano were hitting him in their hands, and the wide receivers were dropping the ball. And there's Wayne Fonzie saying, now, wait a minute, what do you got to do? You're hitting them in the chest, you're hitting them in the hands. Hold on to the damn ball.
So they'll have to punt it. Arnold from the 15-yard line. And Harris back at the 25-yard line of New Orleans. So the Saints defense getting a little help from the Lions receivers. And a short punt. Harris is smothered at the 38-yard line, but pretty good field position for New Orleans. Saints fans watching to see if their anemic offense can get it going here. Next Saturday on CBS Sports. Don't forget the Army-Navy game, and in that battle we'll be watching Mike Mayweather. Just 81 yards away from Glenn Davis's all-time Army rushing record. Fine young running back for the Cadets in that great old rivalry. 2:30 Eastern time. Winner of that game will move ahead for the first time in some time. 41 victories and 7 ties. Each have 41 wins and 7 ties, so they can brag at least for a year about leading in that great old series. This is Hilliard for a couple.
Tackled by
Eric Williams on the stop. Chris Spielman there. Ball ranging over to get in on it. Cooper and Griffith come on the field now.
Sorry, Tim. The Lions defense to this point seems to be so content to stuff the run and sort of ignore Bobby Hebert's ability to hurt them with the pass that it's really putting Dalton Hilliard in bad straits. Every time he gets the ball, there's 4 or 5 guys about to climb on his back.
Well, as the Saints have shut down Barry Sanders, the Lions have done so to Dalton Hilliard, 2 premier running backs in the NFC this year. This is Hilliard. Got about 3, leaving 3rd and 5. Kevin Brooks on the tackle. Now the Lions send on Toby Caston and Crockett, Curtis Green. 4 wideouts in offensively for Jim Morris Saints. Lonzel Hill, Perriman, and Rod Harris. Remember, Floyd Turner would normally be in the 4 wides, is out with a fractured wrist, suffered back in the first quarter. Hebert with time, and Lonzel Hill can't hold on. William White had the coverage, but Hill was open behind him.
And it seemed White might have got away with a little bit of a tug and a pull at Lonzel Hill's jersey there just before the ball was about to arrive. Now watch in the middle of the screen here, we're going to see Lonzel Hill, number 87, come in. Bobby Hebert sees him now. He's going to throw it, and he just gets tripped up and pulled a little bit just as he was entering the screen. But no call. It was a great defensive play.
Barnhart's punt. A good hit from Barnhart. Inside 10, Stanley. Dropped at the 15-yard line by Bobby Morse. So we're still tied at 14. 8:43 to go, 3rd quarter at the Silverdome. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross here at the Silverdome, where the Detroit Lions will start from their 15-yard line now. Bobby Hebert, you get the feeling he'd just like to air one out. If he had a long completion, that somehow that would lift him out of what has been a listless performance. You can see they've been short passes, the kind of traditional attack that the Saints prefer. But the way this game is going, Randy, you have the feeling they need to hit a long one. Barry Sanders turns nothing into something. About a 6-yard gain as Wayne Martin apparently had him for a loss, but Sanders, who mystifies a lot of defenders, got away from him.
He had it. Martin has him. You're going to see Martin is right here. He's going to come up, and he's going to get into the backfield, and he's going to get Barry Sanders for a 5-yard loss. There's no two ways around it. Look at this. Glover at 53, the center can't get him. Watch these legs. How many backs can make a cut like that? And all of a sudden now there's nobody on the backside. Go ahead, Galliano, get a block, 14. Good effort. He's throwing that shoulder around. But Barry Sanders made a run that few backs in the league in the last 20 years could make.
Second down, a long 3. They give it to Sanders again. And he has first down yardage at the 25-yard line. Pat Swilling made the tackle. Asking the Saints about their impressions of watching Sanders on their coaching tapes getting ready for this game. Almost unanimously, they say this elusive quality that he has, his ability to get away from people when it looks like they're stopped. There was almost a little sense of, gee, I hope he doesn't do it to me.
Well, you know, the one consistent thing with their defensive players and their coach Jim Moore, what they said was one player can't tackle Barry Sanders. We agree, but we don't play that style of defense. We pursue and we play gang tackling team defense, and they did in the first half. But so far, the first 2 runs in the second half, Barry's had, they haven't done it.
First down, Lions. Richard Johnson. Touchdown.
Great block by John Ford, number 80. He got out there in front and made a fabulous block to spring him for 6.
75 yards. Richard Johnson, who admits that he's the slowest of the receivers on this team, showed he was fast enough. And with the help you pointed out from John Ford, the rookie, getting a real good block from Ford to spring him down the sideline. 6 catches, 206 yards, and he's got the touchdown ball. Eddie Murray's point after, and a crowd of 43,000 applauds the effort of the Lions as they retake the lead.
Now Richard Johnson's going to be coming out of the slot from the right-hand side of the screen. It's a pass that Galliano got no pressure, but watch Ford, number 80, right here, working on Milton Mack, number 24, just gets a little corner. Dave Waymer, 44, and neither one of them is able to get off for a touchdown, and Richard Johnson scores. And, you know, Tim, you made the comment that Johnson said, I'm the slowest wide receiver in this group. You know what he runs? He runs a 4.5 40. That used to be world-class burning speed for a lot of guys, and it really shows the evolution of the wide receiver position in the NFL. If you're not 4.3, 4.4 nowadays, you're considered kind of average.
Well, this guy does not consider himself kind of average. He admits he's the slowest. He admits he's the shortest. But he also admits that he's the quickest.
Look at that. Don't cool him off. Don't cool him off.
Isn't that great? Jason Phillips. That looks like a fighter after a tough round there, getting the towel from his handlers in the corner. With a long run. 75-yard touchdown run for Richard Johnson. You got to love that guy, the first-year man out of Colorado. Wayne Fonts loves him right now. 21-14 Lion lead. Eddie Murray coming out to kick it off. You know, I had to ask Eddie Murray the other day at practice about the so-called bounty on Luis Zendejas and all of the incident involving the Eagles going after him in the Dallas game. He said, yes, I have some opinion about that. And he reminded us of Dave Duerson of the Bears going after him, a game that I actually covered a number of years ago right here at the Silverdome, Duerson's rookie year. After a fake field goal, Eric Hipple ran it in and scored a touchdown. And the Bears, Mike Ditka, ordered Duerson to go after Murray because he was the guy that had faked the kick. Boy, it doesn't take much to get him mad at you. Kickoff comes down outside the 10-yard line. It goes out of bounds there.
And that'll come back out to the 35-yard line.
Well, a chance to remind you that next Saturday, a CBS Sports special, the nation's top riders competing in the final and most prestigious event on the horse jumping calendar, the 1989 Mercedes Horse Jumping Championships. Ken Squire and Robert Ridland will call the action from the Meadowlands Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And you'll see some of the very best riders in the world at 1:30 Eastern Time next Saturday here on CBS. A very exciting competition. We recommend it to you.
And Richard Johnson, with his 206 yards, has now got the second most yards gained in a game, replacing Cloyce Box, who also holds the #1 spot with 302 yards.
First down, New Orleans from their 35-yard line. A reverse Perriman, and they are all over that. Jerry Ball. Well, some of the Saints fans complain about a too conservative offense by the Saints. That's not a conservative first down call, but it got absolutely stuffed.
Well, Ball fights through Hilgenberg. He ignores the pulling guard and just comes straight through. And Perriman doesn't have a chance. He only gets outweighed here by about 120 pounds.
There's Jerry Ball looking for a raise here in Detroit. Underpaid, naturally. Thinks he's underpaid. Wants more money. Second down. A sack of Hebert. A flag down as well. Second Lion sack. Eric Williams.
Eric Williams got the outside shoulder and fought through it on Stan Brock, the right tackle, number 67, and Brock was called for holding on that play. Just fought through and got his sack.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 67 offense. Penalty declined. Third down.
Now here's Stan Brock on the right-hand side of your screen going against Eric Williams. He's going to take the outside corner and watch Brock's hands get right up into Williams' face, and that's what they call. Brock goes out. I'm sorry, it was Trapillo. Brock was blocking on Williams, number 59, and Trapillo never really touched him.
Yeah, they gave the penalty to Brock. But as you saw, was Trapillo there on that infraction. Third down. A little bit long here for the Saints at their 19-yard line. Hebert trying to get the signal call. Gets it to Perriman. About a 1-yard gain. Saints will punt.
Toby Caston and Eric Williams broke through on the pass rush, and they looked like nobody even touched them. They were making. Bobby Hebert was running back for the back flag in the Lion end zone there.
It's been a long afternoon for Hebert. Fourth down. And still a lot of time in this football game. 4:41 to go in the third. But these Lions are fired up. Barnhart kicking consistently well for New Orleans. Stanley with a flag down. Stanley, good return to the 43-yard line of Detroit.
You see a flag go down like that early in a punt return, it's got to be a guy downfield blocking either in the back or holding the outside end of the punt team as he goes down the field.
Greg Haywood made the tackle. Penalty against the Lions.
Holding on the receiving team, number 36. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So we have a timeout on the field. Lions will start from their 33 when we return. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Silverdome. There are actually 38,550 fans here. They sold 43,700 tickets today. The folks that are here are enjoying the action.
And one of the reasons they're so excited is Woody Weidenhofer here, the defensive coordinator for the Lions. His defense is fired up. Has shut down the New Orleans Saints, and they're doing the wave here in the Dome.
Well, they've averaged over 52,000 this year compared to just over 37 through 6 games, home games last year. And a lot of it has to do with this guy. Sanders driven out of bounds. still wound up with about a 4-yard gain. Robert Massey with the contact at the sideline. And another tough block by the quarterback, Galliano, on Waymer there.
Galliano's in there, and he's cutting back, and he's hanging with his guy. He doesn't give up on him. He's going to be sure. Is he tackled yet? If he's not tackled yet, I still got a chance to be a blocker. But Barry evades Swilling's tackle once again, breaks back. Now Wilkes has got a shot at him, 94. He doesn't get him. Here comes Galliano. Little shoulder nudge into Waymer, number 44. He got enough contact to dissuade him, not to hurt him.
Right, Waymer didn't get the tackle made, so he can point that out in the film session. Second down. Long 6. Sanders. This time he's nailed. Sam Mills with an ankle tackle on the elusive Barry Sanders.
Tim, we talked earlier about Woody Widenhofer, the defense coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He's really kind of inspired this team. He wears those Super Bowl rings. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, so he's got all those rings with all the diamonds on them. And the guys say he wears a different one every day, and they like to look at that. They're 3-9, but it's a team that knows what can happen. What can happen is you can win a World's Championship if you have the right program and it's put together properly.
Third down situation for Galliano, coming in for the injured Rodney Peete. If you just join us along the way early in the third quarter, Peete going out. 3:26 to go here in the third. Galliano stumbles but gets the ball off, and again dropped by Jason Phillips. Galliano has not had a lot of help from his receivers so far, except for the 75-yard touchdown grab by Richard Johnson, giving the Lions the lead again.
That timing between the receivers and the quarterback is very, very important. A little stumble like that, the receiver turns his head, expects the ball, and he can throw it off and throw off everybody's timing, even catching ball.
Rod Harris standing at the 19-yard line of New Orleans, awaiting the punt from Arnold. To the 29-yard line, James Griffin made the tackle. Well, the Saints offense has got to stand up and be counted here. Even though there's a lot of time left, 3:09 third quarter, they just haven't done much at all in this football game, Randy. And if they're thinking at all about playoffs that their coach didn't mention to them deliberately this week, they've simply got to say, hey, we can go out and beat any defense, even though the Lions have a very good defensive team. They've got to convince themselves they can move the ball.
Exactly. We saw a quick shot there of Carl Smith, their offensive coordinator, is wearing the black Saints hat. He would settle right now for a offense. He doesn't care which one. If it goes downfield, it goes downfield. If they gain yards and be methodical, do that, but do something.
Dalton Hilliard, he does something. Still going. What an effort by Hilliard. Flags fly as Hilliard got very close to the 10-yard marker.
They're going to call Jerry Ball for a little extracurricular activity with his right arm punching in on Hilliard, I believe.
Hilliard has a word for him. Hilliard just giving him a smile, saying, I'll take the extra yardage.
He's saying, what are you picking on me, big man? I'm just a little guy.
Personal foul penalty. So it turns into a big game, and it was that extra effort by
Personal
Hilliard.
foul, unnecessary roughness, number 93. 15-yard penalty, first down.
All the way to the Lions' 46-yard line.
Now the thing to watch for is right out of the left side. See, Jerry Ball just got in there at the end. Now watch him wind up. Whoa, here it comes. Ooh. Mike Tyson's safe, but Dalton Hilliard didn't.
Good thing he had his head. Hilliard still going. Dalton Hilliard, what an effort. Turns it into about an 8-yard gain.
Hilliard has decided he's going to take over the game here. Things aren't happening. I'm going to run the ball. I won't be tackled by one or two guys. They're going to have to gang tackle me. We talked about earlier in the game about Barry Sanders' legs. We get a shot at him. Look at the legs on Dalton Hilliard. His legs are so big, his thigh pads stick out on the side. They don't protect the front of his legs.
Well, these guys are similar, as we said, in many, many ways, and even with their results this year, and the acknowledged difference between the two, a little more speed on the part of Barry Sanders. But this Hilliard is a fine ball player. Second down. Complete to the tight end Scales, number 83. second-year man from Wake Forest. Spielman made the stop on him, but it's a first down, New Orleans. So finally they've got a drive going, and they're now at the 31-yard line, helped by the personal foul penalty against Jerry Ball.
Well, the Detroit defense is doing a good job of taking away the outside receivers, and coordinator Carl Smith there, playing with his headset, has gone back to the tight end. We talked about the tight end earlier in the game, and the tight end's been open so far today almost every time they've gone to him.
Three tight ends in again on first down. Hilliard the lone setback. Good hole for Hilliard. Again, he picks up 5, maybe 6 on the play. Well, we said this was a drive. They had to show that they could do something against the Lions defense. It's been mainly Hilliard, and he's getting it done. Williams, who was injured earlier, Eric Williams, slow to get up once more. Final minute of the third quarter.
We had a little pinched nerve earlier in the day, and it's not too difficult if you're a defensive lineman or offensive lineman or linebacker to re-injure those pinched nerves. It just takes the wrong kind of hit on the side of your head, and that whole burning sensation returns to that arm. But the bad situation a lot of times is his own guy can get you sometimes. Whoa, Gibson, 98, comes diving in and lands right on top of Eric Williams' head. You see Eric looking over into the huddle at his own guys going, lighten up a little bit.
He's one tough hombre, isn't he, that guy?
He really is. He's got a great sense of humor. Trying to break into TV with the Gridiron Gourmet show here in Detroit, with showing that football players not only can play football, but they can also cook.
That remains to be seen, however.
And there's his first guest on the show, Jerry Ball, number 93. And I said, Eric, what did you guys cook on the first show? And he says, you know, what did I cook? He goes, well, there was a lot of it. That's how I remember. There was a lot of food.
Yeah, I'd say Bo was a good choice for his first guest. Looks like he eats anything put in front of him. Wouldn't be too critical. Second down and 7. Saints inside the Lions 30. Hebert with protection. Lonzel Hill, first down. Then he blades on the stop. So now New Orleans into scoring position, into the so-called red zone near the 18-yard line of Detroit. 18 seconds and counting down, third quarter. Hilliard to this point has carried 16 times for 58 yards. Barry Sanders 12 times for 36 yards. Well below his season average. Here's Hilliard now with a little running room to the 15-yard line, met by Blades. And the gun sounds. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Detroit Lions 21. New Orleans Saints 14. We now pause for a word from your local station. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. New Orleans second down and 6 at the 15-yard line of the Lions. The second longest drive of the day for this anemic Saints offense. 56 yards they've moved so far in 7 plays. And their earlier one, 34 yards on 8 plays, resulting in a score. Hebert gets away from Ball. And Hebert gets to about the 11-yard line. Takes a good lick there. Benny Blades got the hit on him before he could get himself into the slide posture. Turns into about a 4-yard gain for Hebert.
Well, we saw Jerry Ball earlier in the game get double-teamed when he tried to make a quick move. And then we'll see him here again. He beats Joel Hilgenberg, number 61, to center real quick. And Hebert just pulls out of his grasp. You got to say a lot for Hebert's strength there. And then Hebert takes a shot. Benny puts his shoulder right in his head.
3rd and 2. Make it 3 still to go. 3rd and 3. To the tight end, and it'll be close. Now make it Martin, number 84, the wide receiver, number 84. And it'll be close to the first down, depending on the spot.
You talk to the New Orleans Saints offensive coaches, and they say one of the things that differentiates Eric Martin from a lot of receivers in this league is he doesn't mind going into those tough areas to catch the ball. Not many wide receivers will settle down over the ball 3 or 4 yards from the line of scrimmage and catch a pass. There's too many linebackers and too many hits waiting for him in there.
And Martin made the grab and got the first down. It is 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. 3 tight ends in: Brenner, Tice, and Scales. Hilliard the setback. Martin wide right. Whoops. A shower of yellow handkerchiefs. Illegal procedure signaled against New Orleans.
False start. 67 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
False start against the tackle, Stan Brock. I think he had some company.
Now, you're going to talk about Stan Brock moving, but watch how many of their linemen take a jump. Brock right here is at the right tackle, and now the left guard is going to move. Dombrowski, the right guard, Trapillo is going to move eventually. They were just a little bit off on his count. Bump, bump, bump. I'm sorry, Trapillo didn't move, and he froze the whole time.
So it backs him up to the 12. Hilliard on the draw. Gets back to the 7. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Ball and Williams combining on the hit.
One of the things that opens up a quick hitting play like that for the New Orleans Saints is Jerry Ball's out. We see the way he's jumping side to side on Hilgenberg. You're either going to jump and guess right, or you're going to jump and guess wrong. And a couple of times in the runs, Jerry Ball has jumped and guessed wrong, because Dalton Hilliard is not making those quick cutback type of runs. He's getting in there, he's hitting the hole right now. He's doing it fast. He knows they're trying to pursue backside.
Hebert just gets it off, and it's nearly picked out. Jerry Holmes had the best shot at the football, and he was kind of between batting it down and trying to catch it.
Looked like he was trying to bite it.
Boy, oh boy, had he caught that ball, that was 6 the other way.
You're going to see this out of the right side of the screen. Watch it. You tell receivers, look the ball in all the way, right? Now watch Jerry Holmes. He's going to watch this one all the way in. All the way into the front of his face. Bounce right off the top of his helmet.
Third and goal.
Maybe the wind caught that one.
An errant throw from Hebert. To the corner. Intercepted. Holmes. Intended for Ron Harris. Now Holmes, they gave him a second chance at it. He didn't make a mistake the second time.
Bobby Hebert threw a pretty good pass in there, trying to float it up over the top, and Holmes just made a good play, climbing right up over the back of the receiver. Here, we won't see it till the very end here. See, Hebert flips it up, and look at that. He just gets in there and makes a great play on Harris.
Well, there's a look at what's happened in this game so far, and that top line has really been the story. The silver stretch, cranking it up for 252 yards between Peete and Galliano passing, and Bobby Hebert struggling through another difficult day.
Exactly. I think those stats speak volumes, really, for what Bobby Hebert has done so far today, which isn't very much. He's had an off day. The Saints offense has had an off day. The receivers aren't catching the ball. That was not a very good pass. Dalton Hilliard has been their offense, he and punter Tommy Barnhart.
Well, that's exactly right. And, you know, while I still believe Hebert to be in the top rank of quarterbacks in this league, the last month, Bobby Hebert has simply struggled. And he's the first to admit it. When we talked to him yesterday about the 4-interception day against Atlanta game we covered, you know, he said, hey, it was just one of those days. I haven't been getting it done. And so far today, he's having the same problems. Galliano play action. direction for Johnson. He's got it, bobbles, and hangs on. A business machine salesman is now an authentic receiving star in the NFL.
Watch Barry Sanders. He's going to come out from back here. Galliano's going to fake the handoff, and it's going to really freeze the New Orleans Saints defense, and that's what opens up. It sucks linebackers forward when he fakes that handoff to Sanders on the draw, and they are able to dump it right over the top of Swilling, number 56, right behind the zone. Johnson does a little bobbling act, but gets the ball and both feet in.
7 catches, 239 yards. Mel Gray is in. Number 23 for Johnson. Sanders. About 5 to the 42-yard line. Swilling and Vaughn Johnson making the tackle there.
It's very critical to this point. The Detroit Lions are talking about winning this game in an upset over the New Orleans Saints to run the ball effectively now. It'll take time off the clock, and they can put points on the board. It doesn't have to be a touchdown. The key here is to run time off.
So the Giants have come back to tie the Eagles at 17. A game the Giants coach Bill Parcells says will decide the division championship in the NFC East. Galliano, he's got Ford open, and he has the ball, but out of bounds. A heartening move by John Ford. Nonetheless, he had to adjust to that, make a nice turnaround to catch the ball. Made a good catch, but couldn't stay in bounds. They're hoping this guy is going to turn into what a number 2 pick should be.
Well, he's got the tools. He's a big guy, 6'2". Now he adjusts well. He comes back. Look at that. First foot's out of bounds. He drags the left foot well, but what I guess they called was that right foot had come on just on the paint.
There's John Ford, number 2 pick from Virginia. And the replay official, Royal Cathcart, is going to have another look at that one. It appeared on that replay as though his first foot was actually on the line, but let's see.
Now watch the right foot.
Where does he step down? Right there.
Okay, right there would appear he's near the line, but watch.
Yeah, no, wait a minute. There's his toe coming up inbounds.
Right. From that angle, it's hard to tell. Initially, it would look to be out. Now, see, right there, it looks to be out, and then he skips the foot back inbounds.
Yeah, you see, you can't tell, really, and, of course, that should fall under the inconclusive category.
After further review, play stand, 3rd down.
Not my favorite part of NFL football, the replay rule. Well, we won't expand on that any further. 3rd down.
It's right up there with offsetting penalties.
Yeah, right. 3rd and 7. Galliano from the pocket. He's got a man open. Clark. Robert Clark to the 5-yard line. A flag down back behind the line of scrimmage.
It may all be for naught. It looks like the Detroit Lions are going to be called for offensive holding on one of the linemen.
What an effort by Clark breaking tackles downfield. Another one of their little receivers. 5'11", 175-pounder. Showed some strength after he caught the ball.
And Malinchik, 74, is coming in right now for Delafor.
Well, the referee's microphone not working at the moment. It looked like it was against Delafor.
Well, that's too bad. It was a fine effort by Clark and a good job by Bob Galliano to stand in there and throw that ball at all. And Delafor has had a little bit of a problem for the last month or so with been a little hobble with an injury. In fact, Fonz told us the other day in practice that he went so far as to tape a couple aspirins to his knee about 2 weeks ago before the game.
Have to find out if that worked at all. So it's 3rd down. 17. Galliano just gets it off, and his arm was hit. Nice try by Clark to come back to it. Talk about a wounded duck. That's the way that one left his hand as he was hit just as he released the ball. Good try by Clark to catch it, but he really had no chance.
It was a good job just to get back anywhere near the ball and bat it down and keep it from being an interception.
So the Lions, instead of being at the 5-yard line in New Orleans, will have to punt.
This is one of Jim Arnold's specialties, hanging the ball high and pinning them back out of bounds around the 10 to 5-yard line.
Standing at the 32-yard line. Rod Harris back. To the 17-yard line, Nico Noga made the stop. 10:05 remaining in regulation time. Lions on top.
Shakedown cruise on the USS Ranger with Jack Tatum and Willie Brown from the Raiders, and they had a tape of this game on the ship, and this is in March and April, and they're watching the replays. Obviously they've won that year. They're watching the replays in March.
Yeah, it has a lot of meaning. Army-Navy next Saturday here on CBS. Hebert to Hobie Brenner. 2 men on him. Spielman and Gibson, the inside linebackers. But he gets about 6 on the play. Jeff Walker has come into the offensive unit of the Saints at left guard, and Dombrowski has shifted to his normal spot at left tackle. Kevin Haberdink, the rookie, is out. Apparently nicked up a little bit.
Dallas leading the Rams 31-21. That could have major importance to the New Orleans Saints if they can pull this one off.
Hebert tried to get it to Jordan out of the backfield, incomplete. Not a good throw. Well, here's some folks that with an opportunity to improve their view decided to stay up there in Bob Uecker territory. I mean, those folks are a long way from the field. And I don't think anybody would object if they moved down a few rows.
A few sections. They must have got those tickets for free. Nobody else would sit on the top there on purpose.
3rd down. This is a big down for the New Orleans Saints. 9:21 to go. There's a lot of time. They're only down by 7. But again, they've got to keep the drive going. Low snap. Hebert with time. Incomplete. Intended for Eric Martin.
Bobby not happy with himself. He knows he just threw a very ineffective pass.
Alexander had the coverage on him. Bruce Alexander.
Now watch Alexander, number 32, against Martin, number 84. And what to look for here, watch the coverage, but more importantly, watch Alexander's position. Look at him. He's ready to cut right back in front of Martin. If the ball had been on time and in the right place, Alexander would have had a pick.
So once again, New Orleans forced to punt. Barnhart, punt taken by Stanley. The return by Stanley to the 42-yard line. Bobby Morse made the tackle. Barnhart was here in preseason kicking for the Lions. Arnold wasn't in camp at the time, and he must like it in here, the Pontiac Silverdome, where we are. CBS coverage of the National Football League with the Lions trying to make it 2 in a row. Following up their victory of Cleveland, they lead 21-14.
And this would be every bit as big an upset as the one over Cleveland. And William White is hobbling off the field, number 35. Safety for the Lions, got a little nicked up on that last punt.
Bob Galliano coming in relief as there's White. And he would be missed from that secondary. Tough customer out of Ohio State. Galliano in relief of Rodney Peete has been doing the job for the Lions. First down at the 41. Phillips, and he holds on to this one. First down to the New Orleans 40-yard line. Over Milton Mack, number 24.
You know, a lot is said about the quarterbacks in these run-and-shoot offenses that, gee, you got to be an athlete. You got to be very flexible. You got to be able to run the ball. I'm very, very impressed with the arms of both Rodney Peete and Bob Galliano for the positions they have to throw the ball from. They rarely get in that kind of classic quarterback pose. They're rolling to their left, they're rolling to their right, they're throwing back across their body. They've got very strong arms.
Virtually every pass play is on one of those little short rolls that they make. First down here from the 40. receivers to the right. They go to Sanders, and he is dropped by Ricky Jackson, number 57. Jackson with a pair of sacks in the game, come up with a big run stop. A loss of 5. Saints have kept Barry Sanders very much in check today, but they've had trouble against the Silver Stretch pass attack. 35 yards for Sanders on 14 carries.
And Ricky Jackson there, look at that face mask. He had that fractured cheekbone earlier in the year. If that doesn't protect you, nothing's going to protect you. He's been a real force today, but he needs a little bit of company on the offensive side.
Short drop again, Galliano to Richard Johnson. Troy Cook stops him, but he picked up about 7. It'll leave 3rd down. And let's call it closer to about a 9-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Career high 248 yards for Richard Johnson. The Saints gave up 336 to Willie Flipper Anderson last week, and now they got another guy pounding away at them.
That's sort of a strange thing, too, because this Saints defense has always been tough to get any kind of yards on.
For the Lions, a big play here to keep possession and their lead. Galliano flushed. Back into the middle, incomplete. Intended for Jason Phillips, number 24, the rookie from Houston. Good effort by Galliano, and again another example of what he was asked to do there. Once he got flushed, he had to come back across the grain here. Difficult throw.
You know, it's one of the strange things about this offense. Watch him. Sanders gets a little block behind Lomas Brown, gets a little nudge on Ricky Jackson. Once the initial play breaks down, the run and shoot does not seem to be the kind of offense that adapts well to scrambling and moving. The receivers are adjusting so much to the initial zone that they can't really seem to adjust as well to the quarterback when he gets on the move.
Big defensive play by New Orleans there. Ricky Jackson, the team leader on that defense. In the middle of the pressure as usual. And we've had a delay of game against the Lions here.
Well, that's not terribly surprising in this situation, Tim. That'll knock it back to about the 41-yard line and give Arnold a better angle for the sidelines.
7:13 remaining regulation time. Arnold will now stand at his own 45.
This could be a huge play to put a nail in the New Orleans Saints if Arnold could get this ball inside the 5-yard line.
He is one of the premier punters in the National Football League year after year. And it's fair caught at the 10-yard line by Harris. So the Saints have quite a hole to get out from as they try to get that offense going. It has simply been stalled all day long. And following the game, stay tuned for the NFL Today post-game show with Brent and Irv. They'll take you around the league for some live bonus coverage of other games, as well as give you all the highlights and information from today's action. So Bobby Hebert goes to the bench. First time this season that John Fourcade has come in a role like this, where the game can still be won, and he's in there designated as the man to do it. 28-year-old, 30-year man out of Ole Miss. On first down, incomplete behind Eric Martin. John Fourcade played on the Saints replacement team, signed as a free agent in 1987. That's Dave Wilson next to Hebert. Hebert's number 16 to 26. That's not a bad percentage, but 99 yards with a pickoff simply didn't get it done today. And he's been struggling the past several weeks.
I think a lot of this poll is really based on some bad decisions and just poor passes, not so much his numbers.
Kobe Brenner, first down Saints to the 30-yard line. Spielman on the tackle with Bruce Alexander. So Fourcade does the job getting them out of the hole. Some breathing room at the New Orleans 30. 6:38 to play.
Fourcade's thrown a couple passes so far, and both of them have been sort of floaters. He's going to have to get a little bit more crisp and start putting these balls in a little bit more effectively, or he's going to get into serious trouble, because these guys will pick one off.
Fourcade has a record of 5 completions in 14 attempts this season. A great deal of action. Goes to Hilliard, the release man, and Hilliard blasts his way through a defender, Jerry Holmes, and picks up about another 3 yards. It'll leave second down and about 3, maybe 2. Let's see where they spot that ball. It's closer than that, just a yard for a first down.
Jerry says, shucks, I thought I was going to get him right there. And the Rams have just pulled to 31-28 in that game with Dallas, with 39-yard touchdown pass from Jim Everett to Ron Brown, for you people with interest in the NFC West.
Well, on the 49ers, as you can see now, final over Atlanta. Steve Young had to come in for an injured Joe Montana. His ribs coming into the game were sore and were banged up during the contest. On second and short, Buford Jordan is stopped. It'll be third down, and still most of that yard required for the first. Kansas City doing a job on Miami, the surprising Dolphins in the wild card picture, and that could be a costly defeat if they can't come back. Third down, and still almost a full yard. Hilliard back for Fourcade, and he is sacked by Spielman. Well, that's not conservative, Randy, but I'm not sure it's the greatest call of it.
Well, it was good imagination and very, very poor execution, because Chris Spielman barely gets breathed on here. And he's going to be coming from his linebacker position. Watch him flow to the ball, number 54. No one comes off him. You see, Brenner tries to come off him late, but nobody even touches him. You get the impression maybe Hilliard, after he threw the ball back, had a responsibility to block someone. But Chris Spielman, he was on the scent. He was after that ball.
So the Saints give it up. Barnhart fields a low snap and nails the punt. Stanley back to his 24. Dropped at the 32-yard line. Walter Johnson stopping him there. A 50-yard punt by Barnhart. And there's the man of the moment, the Lions' Chris Spielman. Tim Ryan and Randy Cross at the Silverdome watching a team in dire straits, the New Orleans Saints. Jim Mora lifting his quarterback Bobby Hebert, struggling again today, replacing him with John Fourcade with the game on the line. They still trail by a converted touchdown. 4:11 to go. A lot of time left, Randy, but been no indication offensively that they're capable of turning it around.
That's right, Tim. If they're going to win this game, New Orleans is going to get the win from the defensive side of the ball. The defense has to decide they're going to keep in the playoff picture.
Lions on first down. Barry Sanders. Now the Lions, for their part, have not hurt themselves today as they have so frequently during the rest of the season. You've got a self-destructing team here very frequently against a very tough defense. And as you point out, that could be what could turn it around for New Orleans. Wayne Fonts has to hope that Galliano and company can play the kind of error-free ball they did against Cleveland.
Right. New Orleans obviously needs to make something happen. They got to take chances and go for a turnover here. Detroit showed earlier in this quarter, early in this half, when Peete went out and Galliano came in, the receivers were dropping the ball. They seem to have adjusted and got their offensive stride back.
Galliano, 4 of 11, 136 yards and a touchdown. Sanders squirts to the 40-yard line, leaving third and about 3. Galliano's numbers not impressive unto themselves, but he's made the big passes. All 4 of his completions have counted, including a touchdown strike. Sanders just 43 yards rushing. Saints defensively have done a good job on him. But the Lions obviously came in with a pass plan today, and it's worked.
Exactly. You know, and Bob Galliano told us when we talked to him on Friday that he has never seen a more kind of selfless player than Barry Sanders. People will make a lot after this game if Detroit wins it that, gee, you know, New Orleans shut down the Lion running game. They shut down Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders doesn't care. He knows they've got the Richard Johnsons and they've got the Rodney Peetes and they've got an effective passing game that really for the first time this year is hitting and reacting the way that these fans expected it for all they read in the preseason.
Well, and in the long haul, that helps Barry Sanders' cause, too. I mean, his running opportunities are opened up by the success of their passing game.
But Wayne Fonts feels that the passing game has been opened up just by Sanders' presence. We saw a few times on play action where the linebackers get sucked up. It leaves that zone area, those bubbles in the zone behind the linebackers open.
3rd and 2 Lions from their 40-yard line. Jason Phillips, first down, Detroit. Galliano happy with the pass and the catch. Didn't really like to see Phillips go out of bounds and stop the clock.
That's the difference you might see between a real veteran type of an offense and an offense that's just happy as heck to have an advantage over a superior team to this point, because you'd like to see the guy stay in bounds, cut it back, and get more time running off this clock.
3:09 with the clock stop, but first down Lions at midfield. Saw the Eagles again on top of the Giants in that critical NFC East game.
And the Rams continue their comeback trend, 35-31 over the Cowboys.
Sanders stuffed again at the line of scrimmage. Ricky Jackson, Frank Warren waiting for him there. Timeout called by the Saints. Only one remaining for New Orleans. These are desperate times. A 6-6 ball club that most people thought would be almost a shoo-in for a playoff spot this year. 2 successful seasons back-to-back by the Saints and their coach Jim Mora. But a 1-4 start put them in a hole, and even though they won 5 of their last 7, devastating loss last week to the Rams, and they just look like a beaten
well,
team.
you look at those faces and those bodies and the way they're sitting. If you're an advocate of body language and whatnot, you look at the New Orleans Saints right now on the other side of the field, and they look like they're resigned to the fact that they're going to lose it. That's why I make the point those are mostly offensive players. These guys on the field have got the fire. These are the guys that have made the Saints a winning team. It hasn't been their offense. Their tradition, their strength is defense.
2nd and 10 Lions at midfield, 3:03 to play. Galliano to Phillips, what a catch. Took a tremendous shot from Dave Waymer. 5'7", 168 pounds of muscle and hustle.
And when he gets back to the huddle here, Bob Galliano's going to walk over and say, nice catch. That's what people think he's going to say is nice catch. What he's really saying is, sorry about that. Put that right about where you and the defender got there simultaneously. Great effort by Phillips to hold on to that catch.
A first down at the 30-yard line, and many of the fans here at the Silverdome gave him a standing ovation. They appreciated that catch.
His helmet doesn't fit right. Look at it. It looks a little crooked. They're going to have to rebend his face mask.
Or rebend his face, one or the other. Saints have been trying to do that. Final timeout taken by New Orleans. Galliano now 6 of 13 for 166 yards. Look at this.
Yes, he is. He's straightening his helmet out. That hurt. And here's how we'll see why his helmet's a little bent and broken. Galliano throws this ball, and it's right in that zone we've been talking about. Waymer rotates up and puts a helmet. Look at that. That's his mouthpiece. See that mouthpiece come flying out to the side there? Maybe the mouthpiece was attached to the face mask.
Not anymore. Hopefully his teeth are still attached to his mouth. And we're not sure about that from that shot. Jason Phillips. Well, he had dropped a couple earlier when Galliano first came in the game, so he's going to feel real good about that kind of redemption.
Well, look at that
there.
cheek pad. Look at his right cheek pad leaning up against the black stuff on his cheek. That darn thing's rotated a couple inches over towards his eye.
First down, Lions at the 30-yard line of New Orleans. 2:44 to play in regulation time. Sanders for about 3. Ricky Jackson on the stop. And the Saints, having used up all their timeouts, they're just going to watch this thing wind down here. Somehow hope that they can make a defensive play that will give them one last chance.
I tell you, if the Lions can get another first down or so and get some points out of this drive, New Orleans will be home for Christmas.
Detroit's just going to let it go down to the 2-minute warning. Galliano's already over at the bench. I think those guys are making their plans for this evening.
Well, it kind of looks like Glover took a shot towards the end of that play. Might have sprained his ankle a little bit.
2-minute warning has sounded here at the Silverdome. Lions lead. John Leonard on CBS Sunday Morning this morning gave that an outstanding rave review, and not just because it's on his own network. It really looks like it'll be a very special movie this evening. No Place Like Home. All ahead tonight on CBS. Second down and 8 for the Lions, in control in Saints territory. Barry Sanders tripped up by Sam Mills. Got maybe 2. Galliano certainly has looked like a poised veteran in there. When you really consider in the NFL, he hasn't had a whole lot of work, Randy. What are your memories of him when he had his brief stay with the 49ers? Would you have expected this kind of steady play from him?
It was very obvious Bob Galliano could throw the ball. It was also very obvious Bob Galliano was not going to get much of a shot with the 49ers, only because they had Joe Montana, they had Steve Young, and that was pretty much the way they were going to sit. Bob spent some time on and off the roster as just sort of the third quarterback, but the best thing that happened for him was really to bounce around until he found a place where he really belongs, and that's here in Detroit.
Well, with Rodney Peete, who looks like he's going to fit this offense like a glove, and a good backup like Galliano, things look bright, especially because of this guy. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Closer to the 1. Barry Sanders.
Well, that's all she wrote for the New Orleans Saints for 1989.
They weren't going to hold this guy in check the whole game. He had to break one at some point, and he broke a couple of tackles along the way again.
His plays today have not been really made on one-time big hit runs. He's been stopped onside. He's spun and gone backside.
The crowd getting into this with chants of Barry. First and goal just outside the 1-yard line. 1:01 to play, and they've got Jerry Ball in there as a blocker. They've been using him in this situation the last couple of weeks. Short yardage near the goal line. There he is, the big defensive nose tackle.
And Page is in at fullback, number 49, which for the Detroit Lions, at least for the last 6 or 8 weeks, means that they're probably going to come out in an I-type formation and look for Barry Sanders to take the path of highest resistance and go right over the top for 6 points.
They reset the 30-second clock. 1:01 on the game clock. And Galliano just letting the time wind down here. The crowd wants the ball in the end zone, but this is pretty good strategy.
That was a great call. Dick Bossing, our statistician, hands Tim and I a card that says, quarterback, kneel down, let the clock run. He's not a high school football coach for nothing. This guy knows the game.
That's our statistician, Dick Bossing, who coaches in Lafayette, Indiana. Well, that was a good call. Now they've got 32 seconds and counting down. The ball's out at the 4.
They're going to have to run one more play because there's only 15 seconds left on the other clock right into the game.
Wayne Fonts, Mouse Davis. They've had to endure a lot of heat, not just because of the record, but a lot of jeers about the silver stretch. You know, 2 weeks in a row, they've made it win. And that's going to do it. They don't even want the points at all. They'll take this win happily.
Well, they're now a 4-9 team going places.
And the Saints are going to have to think about next year. They're out of the playoff picture, a major disappointment this season. Final score, Detroit 21, New Orleans 14. Stay tuned for the NFL Today postgame show with Brendan Irv.